You're watching this on, was that a start over?
Yeah. No. Great. Let's go do it again.
Okay.
I just want one for safety.
Yeah, that was good practice.
And have fun with this one.
Didn't we have this talk?
The show is the Castoffs. I'm so glad you asked. But when you look us up online at, let's say, happyjacks.org/castoffs, there is no extra article in there. It's only the genuine article. This is an actual play. We're using the Quest RPG system, and we are having a grand old time. Unfortunately, our friend Pooja, playing Lucky Joshi, isn't able to join us tonight, but don't worry, I killed her. We'll get to that in a little bit.
You will not be back.
Literally murdered. Probably shouldn't admit to crimes on the internet, but here we are.
Call my lawyer. Hang on.
Let's see. So we are on episode 2. You can catch up on previous episodes at happyjacks.org/castoffs. You can find a YouTube playlist. You can find a podcast. You can find it. We do have a professional yodeler if you are in the Alps and you go to the right mountaintop. It's just like 3 guys, but they do yodel our stories. So that's, it's a good time for everyone. Yep, that's
Okay.
a regular, normal thing to say.
For a regular, normal intro.
Yep. So anyway, hi, I'm Jason. Joe, what's your whole deal?
How do I follow that? Hi everyone, I'm Joe. I play Wall. He is a fighter, he's grizzled, he's got tattoos all over his body that seem to move around. But deep down inside, I think he's everyone's uncle, and we haven't seen that side of him yet.
Hi, Courtney. I play Third, who is a bard who is not grizzled and has no tattoos yet. And I think deep down inside, he's just trying to express himself.
Sure. I mean, he's doing that not so deep down as well.
Yeah,
like
not so deep.
loudly and on a stage.
Rambunctious clothes.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
All right. Nick?
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. I apologize if there's a weird echo going on. I'm getting it in the headset, but I don't know if you're getting it out live, and nobody's replying to me, so we'll find out. I feel like I'm actually getting an echo from every single mic because it's like a row your boat thing going on. So I'm going to take these off because it's basically impossible for me to pay attention to anything.
Okay.
Let us know in
Oh,
chat if
and
there's-
I'm sorry. I play Sal. Sal is an 8-foot wooden construct that came off of the front of this ship.
And occasionally goes back onto the front of the ship.
And
then,
occasionally goes back on.
And then comes off again. And oh yeah, that is really delayed.
Yeah. It is. It's
Wow.
obnoxiously bad.
Okay. Well, I'm sure chat will tell us in a moment how we're doing sound wise. Last time we set off into the open sea because the kind folks of Creektown chased you out. The land sharks had discovered that, we don't actually know exactly why they were after Third, but Third was identified by a land shark, and some 24 of these gang members came running down into Creektown to try to capture him.
Look, they really just wanted to give him a candygram. That's all.
Kittygram. Dolphin.
No, you're that land shark, aren't you?
But,
Saturday Night Live, everyone.
But you all made it to the ship. Actually made it so far ahead of them, you had time to finish loading up and sail out with all of your provisions and supplies, which was great. The voyage took us, we exercised the tradition that the crew developed of putting the map up on the wall and throwing a dart to see where we go, a blindfolded dart, I think.
Yep.
And we enjoyed the moment, that light hazing ritual of letting Third throw the first dart, and Sal pretending to be injured when the dart thunked into the wall of the ship. Good times all around. Less good times the ship traveling on its way to the decided destination of the Isle of the Seven Queens. Middle of the ocean, a interceptor ship kind of comes out of the blue, which was a little wild because it's just wide open, blue skies. You could see for miles and miles. And it turned out the ship had a charm on it to allow them to get close without being seen. And we had a combat ensue. And so through that combat, there were some boarders. They tried to, you handily repelled the boarders and in various, froze them and threw them off and gutted some and skewered. And it was a smorgasbord of options. And then set their sails on fire. So
Yeah.
they eventually...
I don't fuck around.
Yeah.
You come for me, you come correct.
Yeah. And really the gist of, I think, what Nick is getting at here is it turned out this interceptor was captained by the former captain of our ship, the Salamander, who is like... Sal is both the ship and a person, and so to possess this ship is repellent. That's a repellent idea because Sal is a person, but Captain Gallant did not see it that way and thinks that it's okay to possess Sal because it doesn't see Sal as a person. So that sucks. And we got rid of them and sailed on, continuing on the way to the Isle of the Seven Queens. Did I leave anything important out?
We have a cat.
We do have a cat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Portina.
And
cat.
Lucky knows that it's a werecat. Or
Yes.
a cat were.
Yes. Yes. Werecat's the right term. In games that I run, I like wares to the mythos of a were creature being born of that species, realizes it can turn into a human, and infiltrate society and figure things out. This cat hasn't done that yet, but
Brothers, I bring you the secret of the tuna can. Now we'll kill those filthy humans.
I was trying to come up with something about how I'll show you I'll pet myself, and then that kind of spiraled out of control, and I thought I better not say anything about it.
Good self-awareness.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, in the fort.
Doodle-doo.
Them Duke boys are at it again.
Oh, God, no.
I was making the noise from the old record books that I had as a kid,
yeah,
where it
yeah.
told you to turn the page with the little
Yeah.
I was thinking of the
yeah.
Wayne's World.
Oh,
Mm.
doodle-doo, doodle-doo.
Again, we're old.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate every single one of you.
All right. Oh, God. Okay, the cavalry's here.
It's
I think
Mom.
to fix our sound.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Okay.
It's fine. They actually aren't hearing.
Oh, they're not hearing anything.
No, it's fine.
Well, they're not hearing echo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Excellent.
They were
Okay.
Otherwise, I missed so much wonderful banter. That
Okay.
was just...
So
Yeah.
is it not this plug that these were plugged into?
Yeah, sorry. I did that to mess with it. I forgot to plug them back.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
It's okay, everyone. We'll fix it in post.
We're
We
good.
won't fix it.
All right, we'll do that all over again. All right, for places.
Good warm up. Good warm up.
Okay, back to ones.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't need it if you want to restart.
No. We were. This is
We're
this is the bit.
Oh.
Now redoing all of that.
I don't know. I feel like I could have gotten more gravitas out of it.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Okay.
Okay, this is a lot better because now I'm just hearing it once in real time and not having to.
Yeah, great.
Mm.
All right. So, as your ship approaches the islands, just a reminder: the Isle of the Seven Queens is made up of 7 small islands, but it's still referred to as the Isle.
Mm.
Each island has a queen. The lore is that each queen has kind of mastery over a particular type of magic, and the I think we had established that maybe Wall had been here once a long time ago, but nobody's a real expert on this particular country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Sal has been here, but prior to becoming a person.
Yes. Yeah.
So he has like sense
Big memories.
sense
Yeah.
memories.
Mm.
Now, Sal, I had a question for you. I know you're able to see Lucky's friend Arjun, who is a
Yes.
ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sal able to see most ghosts, or is it kind of a weird one-off with Arjun?
If you're okay with that, I think seeing all ghosts is just part of the part and parcel. I mean, there aren't a lot of other living figureheads to compare experiences to.
Sure.
But-
Yeah, all right. We'll keep that in as there's some amount of sensitivity there, whatever
Okay.
that happens to be.
Well, and the thing is, the way we established it is that Sal can always feel Arjun's presence, but can't see Arjun unless Arjun wants to be seen.
right, yeah.
So there is some, it's more like a vibe. I can get the vibe that goes around, but I can't force them to be seen.
Right. And shoot, I think Pooja said last time. Does anyone remember Arjun's pronouns?
She.
She, that's what I thought. Here's where I thought I wrote it down. It's blank. All right. So the
Arjun didn't want you to see them.
Yeah.
based on the approach, you know that you're approaching the smallest of the islands. This island is not, however, small. It's like the size of Honolulu,
Mm.
right? It's a pretty big island.
Mm.
But that's the smallest of the 7 islands. And then the rest of them are, there's a significant amount of land. If you added all this up, it's a pretty good, sizable country, right? It's not a little, middle of nowhere kind of island. Maybe if you added it all up, it would be on par with like the New Zealand, right? Something like that. So just for our own context, there are mountains and, there's one of them has a desert and there's, all kinds of strange, like why is there a desert in this? Otherwise all of the other islands are tropical, right? Like that's kind of a weird,
Because magic.
yes, exactly. That's exactly why.
It's Star Wars planet rules.
Yes, there could be
one
only
one biome. That's it.
Yep.
Unless it's Naboo.
Right. The island you're approaching is the thing I didn't do in all my prep was names because I kept thinking, I'll think of something.
Mm.
Can chat name our islands?
Maybe, unless there's too much delay
I don't
or I don't like it.
I think we got some good people in chat to give us names of islands and possibly
Yeah,
queens
or maybe
if you want.
maybe a theme for
Well,
the islands.
Here's
like
the
they
thing.
have
This first island, this queen, when we talk about each of the queens has a mastery over a particular type of magic, this is the queen of necromancy.
Mm.
And she's known for her parties, right? She's one of those people who is associated with the dead. Like if you were to think of the Baron Samedi, party until you're gonna die, so you might as well have fun on the way. That vibe, right?
It reminds me of a game that I've played a couple times where there was like a playbook called The Reaper.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
You should look it up. I really think you'd like it. It's called Demigods.
Mm.
Thank you, Nick. Nick's talking about the RPG I made. So the queen here, the Queen of Death, is known for celebrations and parties. A lot of people come here to get married. A lot of people ask to be buried here. So some people, they'll ship their family member out here. They're like, well, they wanted to be buried on the party aisle. So, yeah, that's a lot of it. There's also, just lots of space for, like, there are quiet areas as well, where it's like more of like cemetery vibe because some people want to rest in peace. and some people want to rest and party. And so there are a myriad of places that you could go. It's not as tropical. It's green, grassy, more like evergreen trees for the most part. You know, there's some palm trees and stuff down on the beach, but then as you go inland, it's somewhat forested, I guess is a better way to describe the most of this island. But it varies, right? There are some small, I wouldn't say, but mountain is a little generous for some of the hills and cliffs and whatever on this island. But as you approach, there is a major port. It's kind of clings to the cliffside as a very vertical kind of arrangement. Yeah, all right. The structure is partially carved into the stone, and then they took wooden structures and built out from that. So if you were to walk into one of the rooms, there's, you know, these wooden balconies and whatnot, and then you would walk further into essentially tool-hewn caves, right? But they're really nicely made. Okay. The
Be a professional, goddammit.
I'm freaking out, man. The approach is that there are like docks and piers that extend out into the water, but being this cliffside, it's actually really deep all the way up. There are beaches to both right and left. If you were to veer off, you could sail up to a beach. You're not that big a ship. You could sail up to a beach and take a rowboat or whatever. But at this dock, at the pier, it's really deep all the way up. Some really big like galleons and stuff pull in here, and they can pull right up to the cliffside and offload and do whatever. And they've got a whole elevator system that works, and there's, you know, magical plumbing and things like that. Like things
Thank
that
goodness.
things that in a lot of medieval settings you're like, how is everyone not sick? Like, where's their water coming from? So that's just one of those things that we have to include in the story. So because otherwise I think that's a lot of times where I get unplugged from fantasy settings, where I can't suspend my disbelief that far. But anyway, what? Oh, right. So as you're on approach, what time is it? Time to party. No,
What's it?
what?
Late morning.
Okay, 10ish.
Sure.
Well, we might be able to make it in for brunch.
I do love brunch.
That's exciting.
Bards love brunch.
Anyone for
Yeah.
10ish?
10ish. Sure.
Tensies.
About 11.
Do you have a name for the queen of this isle?
No.
Okay.
Aside from Queen Muerta,
Mm.
but that's.
We can ask the locals later.
I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Queen of Death is how she's known, and you know,
It would be rude
Maybe-
to
Yeah.
use a given name.
Yes.
right?
Lady
right.
of the Veil, maybe, or something.
If
something
anyone
like that.
Yeah.
it would be us. Like,
Yeah.
we don't give her names. Why should she?
I think that's just one of her titles. You
Yeah.
know, like when she's officiating state weddings or funerals or things, she's the Lady of the Veil.
Right, I like
like
that.
that,
Yeah,
Usually,
different. Yeah,
has different mantles that she wears.
like the Hecate, different faces.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So and certainly none of you have met the Queen before, and she's not standing out on the pier waiting for you. Well, it's about time.
Is there a big exclamation in yellow on top of her head, and she has a quest for us?
Yes. Yeah. And there are a
Welcome,
bunch of
adventurer.
smaller, like light yellow ones down on the pier.
Yeah.
So some of them are like kind of right on top of each other, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get lost trying to figure out whether it's upstairs or downstairs, and go around and around.
Wall
and
would
fall
like to
into the water
spend
like-
2 AP to unlock the fast travel point.
It would be so fun to come up with a way to like Sword Art Online, a TTRPG. I don't know how to. Do you know the anime?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get stuck in a video game. If you don't know, basically, they get stuck in a like MMO.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be it'd be a fun thing where you all know that you are human players in a game stuck in this sort of myriad of fantasy worlds and whatever, almost like a Ready Player One.
You know, with Quest, anything is possible.
That's true. It says so right in the book.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wall's gonna look at his character sheet now.
Okay.
He pulls up his inventory menu.
Yeah, I hit I for inventory.
I had somebody play Demigods one time, and their deity that was their parent was RPG, I think,
Wow.
or was the GM.
Mm.
Right?
Nice.
And so occasionally they would ask me questions as the Herald. That's what the name of the GM in
Right.
Demigods is. They would ask me questions as their deity, and had this whole Deadpool kind of break the fourth wall kind of thing, which was
That's super fun.
yeah. And it put me on the spot in the way that I never had before, which was really fun and challenging as a GM. So I enjoyed that.
Nice.
So the approach, late morning, mid-morning at this point, we have a little bit of time yet. This place is viewing into view, and I'm gonna have to distract Nick in a moment. So
That's okay.
oh, okay. So the as you're keeping watch on everything, and maybe even a little bit more paranoid about having been jumped recently, the flicker of shadows catches your eye behind the ship. And as you look, you realize it's a little hard to tell, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 specters of some kind, like ghostly beings, are flitting across the waves directly towards your aft.
Is this anything that I have encountered before? Is there a known the waves around the Isle of the Queen of the Dead have are known for having ghosts? Although there'd probably be no way I would know that.
Yeah, I think having established your character's limited knowledge of the place, I'm gonna say your character wouldn't necessarily know that. It's certainly a question that might occur to you, and
Right.
you might want to ask. But what do you want to do?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is ask Wall.
Okay.
Wall.
Well, where are you as we're approaching the pier?
Wall.
But I should say we're still like a couple hundred yards out, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, everybody, look, we're almost there. Everyone, come up and look.
Wall's usually found on the top deck, just overlooking and staring into the middle distance. He's in kind of a somber mood today. There's something about this place that he feels a bit off about. Not uncomfortable, but maybe it brings up some memories he'd rather not revisit. But he's on the top deck. Does Wall notice this, and can he make a roll to see if he knows anything?
Well, I think have it pointed out. You're certainly able to see that. And I think I'm not sure what there would be to roll, really. I'll tell you, you have seen this type of specter before on the battlefield. Again, it's not the sort of thing most people notice, or even you notice all the time. But in that, really horrible moment at the end of the battle,
Right.
where what needed to be done is done, and now we're transitioning into not fighting, right? There are those who show up to however it is the afterlife works.
Right.
That there are, guides.
Yeah.
That show up.
Yeah.
And they're not. These specters are not killers, right? They don't cause death; they react to it.
Right.
So that is probably the only contact you've had, and you know that. You know what? I am gonna have you roll based on an obscure memory that is a little bit repressed. If you don't mind me putting that on Wall, go ahead and roll.
11, which is a success.
Okay. You actually recall a specter having a conversation with you. And then at the end of the conversation saying, and you agree to not remember this for now, and you did, right? So you've consented to this like lockbox knowledge.
Right.
And that original conversation involved you becoming essentially a like a lieutenant of death,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
You're not a general of
Right,
death or
right.
a death god or
Right.
anything like that. And their word for it was sort of unpronounceable, incomprehensible to
Mm.
your mind. But
Mm.
your interpretation was, oh, I've been sort of initiated into a ceremony, and even now that conversation with that specter was in
Mm-hmm.
that you somehow understood, just
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
hazy, rasping whispers that,
Yeah.
that made sense to you at the time. And your interpretation is that that may be your job someday, is that maybe you've been recruited into something like that, if you choose to be, but you do know that there is some protocol for meeting with this type of specter.
Okay.
And you could certainly get their attention if you want as they're approaching the ship. And they're not like just passing by, they are beelining for the Salamander.
Okay. Do I get any sense that there's gonna be problems? Are they coming to us for something, or are they just on their business?
If they are coming to you, it is either because someone important on the ship has died, or well, actually, that's the only reason you can think of why they would be coming. I think with your limited experience and knowledge.
Okay.
Do I need to take evasive action?
Have we had any deaths aboard lately?
Roll call?
Are you aware of your like below decks situation?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Vaguely, like the way that you're aware of your stomach,
Sure. Yeah. There has been a massive reduction of the rat population.
which is good because that was giving me rumblies.
Yeah. So that whole situation is it's gotten to the point where Portina is getting a little like, where are the rest of them? Because she's a big cat and like one or two rats is like a day.
Right.
So,
She's getting more salt fish.
yeah. All right. So anyway,
We're not going to let our poor cat.
aside from the rat situation, there are no significant deaths.
Only the rats. Perhaps there was a rat king.
I don't believe these specters mean the living any harm. Let us just be on watch for now.
Now, this is where it gets kind of rough because I think we would also ask Lucky, who is mysteriously silent.
Here's the thing. As you're going around looking for, nobody's dead, right? You find Lucky is not dead, but is in a semi-catatonic state, right? And as you're looking around, is everyone okay?
No pun intended.
Not on purpose, but I will bathe in that.
Chef's kiss.
In case this is your first show, Lucky is a cat person.
Yes.
That was the joke.
Yes. And not a werecat, but like literally humanoid with cat features. So, so the thing that follows up with you going like, okay, well, sort of internal awareness, what is happening, and it's at that moment that Arjun makes herself more known to you, and is saying like, there's something wrong with Lucky. Oh, and then Arjun is distracted, and there's
Arjun, is everything okay?
I think we have visitors.
We saw something off the stern.
We should speak to them.
Very well, if you think that's best. We're all concerned about Lucky.
All right.
So I'll reef sail to reduce our speed into the port,
Mm-hmm.
because we probably don't want to be bringing, if the ghost wanted to do it in the port, they'd have done it in the port.
Yeah. Yeah. So they, these four specters just kind of swarm up over almost like smoke over the gunnels and form into four individuals. Their features are very indistinct. They are, torso, spindly arms and a head-shaped region, but very wispy and intangible.
Are they up on the top deck?
Yes.
Cool. You hear third scream. Ah! What the hell is that?
Third, we have visitors.
Visitors? You sure? Hmm.
They, while not invited, are welcome, and I direct this towards them, welcome aboard the Salamander.
Okay.
Ah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to offend. I was just surprised. Hello.
And, by the way, third's reaction, totally fine. What's our swabby's name?
Danny?
Danny, who, when you like drop the sails and he like went up to change some of the flags so other ships would go,
Right.
we were in that holding pattern.
We had
so,
to put our hazards on.
Yeah.
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 So he's putting the hazard lights on and he turns like third makes a noise and he jumps. He's like, what? And clearly does not see the visitors. Right. Your captive? What was the deal?
Oh,
with
right.
that?
Yeah, we didn't
Coattail.
follow
There's
up
the
what was
second
going on
guy.
with the
Yeah.
with the wizard.
Oh, yeah, the mage.
Yeah.
We have the mage from the
Yeah, Danny recovered
from the wave.
Coattail, the mage. The mage has been in like fitful, like feverish sleep
Perfect.
for most of this trip because we didn't address it sooner.
Right.
No.
So Doc's been taken care
No,
of.
he had breathed in a lot of water under there. Danny fished him out of there. And Doc's been taking care of him, and Cook has been trying to get chicken soup down the gullet, just trying to take care of the guy. So he's been fairly incoherent, feverish, all kinds of stuff, but is starting to get better. The last couple nights he's been sleeping normally.
Just to clarify, Coattail was the guy fighting us who we
Yeah.
captured and tied up.
The mage
I
had
don't
a
think has
different
name.
name.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know
okay?
if we gave the mage a name.
I-
Just
I didn't write it down.
I don't think we did.
Wave
so
Rider,
it's-
Captain Gallant. That's the only name I
It
wrote
was
down.
just the mage.
Okay.
I feel like you said a name, but I don't
thought
Yeah.
remember
did
what
too.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Corin.
Corin, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So Coattail was one of the sailors, and the mage. I was apparently on a sea kick. Mage Corin was also recovered, but
Okay.
has not really had a coherent conversation yet. But nobody else on the ship can see what's happening. Some people are coming up because there's all the noise that Third just made. And Third, have you seen ghosts before?
I don't think he has, but I think because he is magical, he'd probably be able to see some of them if they're presenting themselves like they are now, which would explain why he doesn't see Arjun if she doesn't want to be seen.
Right.
So these things are actively appearing before us, so it makes sense.
Yes, they have certainly manifested.
Yes, then in this case, yes, you would see them.
Okay. There's that'd be kind of a fun, like, a lore thing of like you can only see ghosts if you've taken a life. But I don't think Third has ever.
Yeah.
That's okay. We don't have to do that.
I ruined the continuity. I'm sorry.
No, that wasn't part of anything until I
I'm
thought
just
of that.
Quick, kill someone.
Wait, no.
You
not-
were the closest.
We've got Corin here. He's next to Bobby.
So we had Coattail and we had the other unnamed
Yeah.
Soiler.
Soiler, yes.
Got him.
Captain
We'll
Soiler.
call him Soiler.
Got him when one.
Soiler the Soiler.
I do have a question. How has Coattail's, I don't want to say courting of Third, but
Advances?
ingratiating
Ah.
himself with Third, how is that going?
I think Third finds him interesting and fun, but not interesting.
Not enough to untie.
But it's not his place to choose whether someone gets untied on the ship
Well, no,
or not.
but
He's not in
you
charge.
could make a case for it. Like
It would be more like, well,
um,
do you think we should? I think we should untie him. He's probably gonna need to use the.
this
Well,
other
the train at
guy,
some point.
so is now officially his name, Soiler the Sailor. He's earned that name, unfortunately.
What happens?
And
oh, right.
he is like looking forward to being dropped off at the next port.
Mhm.
He appreciates not having been murdered, but is not wanting to stick around.
Mhm.
Right.
Kotil is like, I'll join you all. Like, especially like Kotil sort of once he understood the situation that like Sal is a person, he was like, oh, Captain Gallant, that's shitty,
Okay.
you know. But also he's a stranger to you, and maybe he's just lying
Mhm.
to get closer and report on you to Captain Gallant. So totally up to you.
How's he gonna do that? He seems cool. I'm just saying, like, I think he's all right, you guys. I mean, how is he supposed to get back to Captain Gallant to report spying on us anyway? I'm sure.
The seas have a way of bringing out the truth in everyone that sails upon it. I say we give it time.
How cryptic. What do you think, Sal? Otherwise, we just have some guy tied up for a long time.
Well, I mean, tied up until you get to.
Yeah.
It's not that weird to have somebody tied up for 5 days. Like, you feed them and let them take a leak when you have to.
Cool. I mean, I'm learning more about Jason's personal life, but
You don't know what I do for fun.
nope. He has been cooperative, and I appreciate his views, and not agreeing with his former captain. I'm willing to give him an opportunity. Perhaps he may be an asset aboard the ship. Perhaps he may leave. But if it's just him, I don't see that we couldn't take care of it if he becomes a problem.
I say if he intends to stay, he must earn his stripe with us by the next moon.
That sounds fair.
All else fails, if things go south, I'm sure Wall will take care of it.
What do you mean by that?
You know, like if you go to, you know, if you
Take care of it.
take care of it, yeah.
Do you think that's my job on this ship?
Well, you certainly seem the most capable. Is that not your job?
Public relations.
Wall is a trusted member of the crew, and while we have all gotten our hands dirty, not a one of us would be considered someone to get rid of them outside of a pressing engagement.
Although I do appreciate the vote of confidence.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying we should just off him or anything. I like him. He seems like a cool guy. I'm just saying, just in case. That, well, you know what? Never mind.
When the
It's fine.
time
It's
comes,
fine.
would you be willing to perform that act?
I don't think so. No.
Good. It should never be easy to take a life.
Hope that I never have to.
And this is all a flashback scene, right? Not like as the specters are on deck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't mind having
Yeah.
a flashback scene. And we were talking about, wait, what are we doing about these sailors tied
right,
to the
that we've
mast?
kind of
Yeah.
forgotten about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, the ghost.
I bet you all even have like a little brig, right? In a ship this size. Like, I imagine there's a room you can lock.
I wouldn't call it a brig, but I think there's probably like a locking closet
Yeah.
that is normally used for like valuables
Yeah.
or small,
Yeah.
delicate cargo.
So you're
And so we
saying
could clear it out.
hotel is delicate cargo. And label it. Sorry, I'm not my father. I'm not my father. Anyway, so we have specters on the ship. Maybe we should deal with that.
Well, wait, I also want to know, is Koto wandering around? Is he part of the crew? Is he in the brig with Soiler the sailor?
I think Soiler is there because Soiler
Yeah.
showed no interest in doing. Just said like, "You're not going to kill me. Cool. You're just going to drop me off at the next port. That's great."
Yep.
Mm.
That is exactly the vibe.
Okay, and Corin has been unconscious and in and out of fever speak, so we have no opinion one way or the other. I'm of the mind, or rather Sal is of the mind, to let Corin around the ship and see what happens. Like, there's only so much he can do while someone is on watch the whole time,
Put him on a work detail.
and see how he does.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair. I think he's probably out and working and helping us run the ship and showing that he can be trusted to do tasks. And whether or not he becomes inner circle, we'll find out. But
At this point, he's earning passage.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Wall is okay with that.
Okay.
We want to see how he interact. How does he treat Danny? Like, how
Mhm.
does this all go down?
Mm-hmm. We want to make sure he's a right fit for our culture.
Sure.
He's on probation.
And just so I know, I think you said this, that a third is not interested in Cotil's flirts.
No, but he's
Okay.
definitely he finds Kotel at least an interesting person to talk to.
Yeah.
Someone who's a little more chatty than the rest of the crew, and that is
Mm.
refreshing.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, right?
Mm.
Because the rest of the crew is not loquacious,
Mm.
and this guy managed to talk himself out of a heated battle, and into his next situation. It's probably been
Yeah.
a theme in his life.
He's also outwardly like trying to socialize.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that's fine. I just wanted to note, like, so you're telling me I've got a chance? Like, no. Removed from the table.
So I call out to everyone, all hands. There's a brief delay. Is that his joke?
Mm.
All hands. We'll have a brief delay. There is a matter that needs attending. We shall put into port soon.
Okay. Danny is just endlessly confused. I don't think Cotil knows either. So the two of them are kind of just standing around on the deck, like, okay, what do you need?
What are they
Just
screaming about?
waiting to see what happens. I think Cook and Doc are both below decks, like dealing with either Corn or like, oh, there's something going. Okay, whatever. They'll tell us if they need us for something.
Right.
But that would be too many people in the scene and difficult to manage.
Right. We don't want to have to be flipping back and forth between 6 different voices.
So not like I do voices. I'm famously an unvoiced GM. As much as I really appreciate when other GMs do it, I love it. I'm just
Just
Terrible.
not a skill set for
just
you.
terrible at it. But the wraiths, the specters, seem to have one of them is in charge, and it steps forward, and I think at this point, Arjun managed to get Lucky to come up to the deck. And Lucky is like looking around, standing, moving, not completely out of it, but is definitely, the eyes are rolled back and is, not,
Somnambulist.
yeah,
Mm.
yes, sleepwalking, and not totally participant in this. So the Wraith says to Lucky, and like starts speaking to Lucky, and says, "You are required at the consulate." And then there's this really long dead air pause where Lucky doesn't say anything. And the Wraith actually like looks back at the other specters like, this wasn't in the script. Like, I'm not overly comical, but it is like confused,
You are not responsible for Lucky's condition.
No, we require her presence. Doesn't want to say Lucky. Her presence is required at the consulate.
Required or asked for.
Ah, consulate guard. Please assist the consul to a place of reprise.
I look over to Lucky, and Wall is looking very concerned. Is she a slave? Is she
No,
being asked to do something against her will?
no, her work is at the consulate, and her presence is required.
And she'll be under my protection at all times.
Yes
Arjun?
and no. What do you want to say to Arjun?
I look to Arjun for confirmation. Like, does Arjun seem to know what's going on, or is this a mystery to
Yeah,
go to?
Arjun is also a decidedly less scary looking ghost and looks like she got called in the principal's office. Right? Like, really is like straight backed, floating very still, not fucking around at all like she normally would be, but is standing with Lucky, right?
Arjun, you know Lucky best. Are these people trustworthy?
Yes, and in a sense, they have to be. We have to trust them. They're from the consulate.
I don't know what the consulate means.
It's where they train the ambassadors. And like, I know the players all understand that, like, there are some important gaps in the conversation, but Arjun seems clueless to that. And the other specters are just sort of nodding like, yeah, obviously, you dummies. Right?
Stupid meat suits.
Yeah.
What did they just call me? They referred to me as a title of something.
Consulate guard. Guard. Her presence, her true presence, is required, but not this form. Escort her to a safe place on the shore, or her true self will not be able to find this again.
We'll make for sure.
We should probably do as they say, huh? I wonder what he means by true form. Guess we'll find out.
Wall is gonna go up to Lucky, and I'm hoping Pooja has given me consent. If not, please let me know and we'll walk that back. But Wall is going to kind of wrap Lucky's arm around him and kind of like be a brace and walk with.
Yeah, and guide her steps. And yeah. And she is kind of in that condition of like, if you kind of point her in a direction and walk, like, she'll keep going until she bumps into something, and so you all agree, and the specters, it's almost like, because the ship hadn't come to a full stop, right? You were still somewhat under power. It's almost like the specters just decided to stop having the momentum of the ship, and the ship, like, you're actually moving pretty quickly, all things considered, and the specters just stop moving with the ship. And
before we get out of range, I'm going to call out, what do we call you?
And Arjun puts her hand on your shoulder, which I think she's able to touch you, right? Like, that's one of the weird things between the two of you.
Yep.
And she says, don't ask them that. They're like guards. They work for the consulate.
When we have a moment, I'd like to learn more about the consulate.
As would I.
And the ambassador and the guards.
You don't know what the consulate is?
We're not pulling your rope.
Third's only hearing half this conversation. He's
that's right,
he's
'cause
realizing Arjun's real. I thought Lucky was pulling my leg this whole time about having a ghost friend and just or having an imaginary friend. Talking. Arjun's real. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe too, in the, seeing the specters on board, when Arjun participated in the conversation, you started to see flickers of her.
Okay.
Maybe not as clearly as Sal sees her, but you actually have definitive proof of like, oh, Lucky wasn't just.
I realize, I'm like, Lucky, he probably thought Lucky was just bullshitting him this whole time about having a ghost pal. I was wrong.
Well, weird. What a weird sentence. It just feels wrong in the mouth.
You're gonna have some great stories for.
Wrong? Yeah. Um, all right. So as you are helping Lucky to, let's have her go sit down somewhere so she doesn't fall off the ship if there's a big wave or something. And you are helping her get secured on a low bench, she whispers kind of like when he's gasping, when he's mostly dead in The Princess Bride, Toblade. She wheezes the phrase haunt house.
Haunt house.
And then she has no more to say.
Arjun, is Haunt House the safe place?
Well, I mean, a haunt house is a type of. It's not the place. You can find haunt houses in lots of towns.
But they are a safe place so that Lucky will be able to find.
Oh, she wants to go. Yes, actually, that would be really convenient. So Arjun pushes to a little bit more corporeality, and Danny screams. And Coach O just kind of
I want to say Danny says, "Oh my God, Arjun's real."
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Lucky was just making a
Right,
joke.
me too.
You better start believing in those stories. Because you're in one.
And Coach O just grabs her around the shoulder like, "Is this the first time you've seen a ghost? Like, what's wrong with you, kid?"
And then he looks down and sees he has no rings.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So Arjun pushes to the forward and she clearly wants to be seen and understood for a moment by everyone on deck, and says, "You all stay in inns or a house or a home, but those places aren't equipped for someone to leave their body for an extended period of time. In many cities, and certainly in this one from the looks of things," and you could see her, she kind of takes a moment and is looking and is looking at the skyline and watches something fly by. That none of you could see any of that, right? But it's just a little wary, in awe, It's like, there has to be a haunt house. If not at the dock town, somewhere nearby.
How would we recognize a haunt house?
Well, you can ask for one. I mean, it's
If it's not unknown and...
Actually, I'm going to have third roll.
Okay.
I think maybe this is a term you've heard.
Probably. I'm pretty cosmopolitan. That is a 14.
Aha. You have heard the term haunt house in songs and stuff, and it's in mostly sad songs and dirges, and sad songs and dirges aren't selling this year. But I think maybe you were under the impression that this is a poetic device, and that maybe you thought they were talking about haunted houses or something, but it is a relatively common term in a literary sense, and I think you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you have
well
some
read.
understanding
Yes.
of it. And so it is the kind of thing where you could ask for the inn, you could ask for a church or whatever the local church, you could ask for a haunt house. You could, not
Haunt
every.
houses are real? That's the thing about this episode. They're realizing these things anything is real. Okay.
But given that you're a 14, that was a full success. So, if everything you've heard is real, then they are kind of a motel, right? Where you can put someone and there's a caretaker to, as they leave their body there.
Useful.
It's a little
It's
sort
like a
of,
spiritual capsule hotel.
yeah, Mausoleum 6.
Yes.
We'll leave a candle on for you.
It's like a cyberpunk sim house.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like the coffin motels.
Mm.
I'll relay that to the party that I've heard this term in songs before, and I think they refer to these, houses of spirituality where you can go and basically do like astral projection type stuff, but still in a safe place where someone is minding your body and spirit. At least that's the gist that I get from some of the songs I've heard. And if there's any place that's going to have a haunt house, I'm pretty sure it's this island we're coming to.
It's really lucky that the first island you came to was the island of death.
Right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes the world works like that, I guess.
Mm.
In actuality, it was like, of the tiny amount of notes I had made in preparation, this was one of the things I had thought about. And then when we found out Pooja couldn't be here today, I was
Here
like,
we go. Perfect.
moving notes
Uh-huh.
around.
Serendipitous.
So,
Then let us make haste.
anything we want to establish before we push forward a little bit here?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm good.
Okay.
There's a look of genuine concern on Wall. Yeah, he's sticking by Lucky
Mm-hmm.
and very.
Third notices
Papa Bear.
this. Yeah, he's like, I am also concerned for Lucky, but he knows that you two have a bond, and he's like, yeah, well, Wall's got this. They're just excited to be in civilization again after like 2 weeks at sea. He really wants a bath.
Yeah.
That isn't salt water.
I need a name for this port town. The
Mortport.
I mean, if you're not careful, that's what it's going to be called.
I think like a colloquial name is probably Port
I'll just
Muerte,
pull up-
Yeah.
but like the official name is probably
That's the worst part to
Ankh
choose my own name
Mortport.
um
We'll call it Port Road after
What-
our microphones. 'Cause
what
that's
a-
literally the first word I saw.
oh, that would be good. I was
Sure.
gonna say like what like the last
Rhode
last
Island.
breath or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm.
The French word for breath. The breaths. Fin.
Sure.
I don't know.
Port Fiend.
Port Fin. Actually, yeah, that kind of
Yeah,
works
that
out
is like
fine.
kind of the last port, or
Yeah.
the finished
Mm.
port.
Yeah.
The
port of endings.
yeah.
That's just kind of cool. The port of endings.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of nicknames,
Mhm.
but Port Fiend.
Last
Okay.
port.
It's definitely portentous.
Love
Yes.
it. Love it. All right. So, the crew, you dock, you spread out to get whatever it is you're all off to get. Arjun wants to go with you to take Lucky to find a haunt house. Who else would like to go on the haunt house adventure?
Third has some things. He has his own agenda. I don't know if you would like to accompany me on that, or if you have other things you want to do, Sal.
Sure. I think that Sal is probably still concerned for third,
Mhm.
since the last place we were suddenly there were assassins or
Yeah.
somebody paying undue attention, and then we were attacked by a gang. So yeah,
Yeah. All right.
and I
Thanks.
trust Wall to get Lucky to the haunt house.
Mm.
Kotil is promising to take Danny drinking.
Mm.
So unless anyone interrupts that, he'll be veering off to like more the working class end of the docks.
Mhm.
Well, we should arrange a place to meet once you dropped off your things and I've run my errand. Like maybe find an inn.
Wherever
we can see.
Josie is, I'll be by her side until she returns.
Well, so Arjun says, I don't know if everyone can hear at this point, but you're hearing Arjun pretty steadily right
Mhm.
now. And Arjun says, well, she may be gone for a while.
Then I will wait.
This is the game master giving you a hint.
I know. I'm not gonna push hard.
Don't
This is just.
separate the party for
This is
too
all
long.
characterization.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah.
just don't want you to feel like you have to be stuck.
No.
That's right. You can play Danny too. Like we have lots of options.
No, he's having a moment right now with
Cool.
Lucky.
Cool. All right. So the three of you are off to find the haunt house. There's no windows, no doors. Sorry, I'm just full of dumb jokes today. Unusual
And
for
it's
me.
different.
Yeah,
than-
that's
As Danny's leaving, I do want to tell him sign nothing and do not go to a second location. And I make sure that Cattell hears that as well.
and Kajo's like, yeah, who would know? Definitely, like Kajal knows those rules, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Danny doesn't or might not, and so I just want
Yeah.
to be very clear that like
Sure.
don't sign anything, don't go somewhere else.
sure.
We know that you're drinking at this bar.
You know the secret that you all have that Kajal doesn't know is that Danny can drink like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
It affects him a little differently. Not quite, Legolas, just drinking endlessly, like, oh, I have a little tingling in my fingers. But it is a substantial resistance to getting drunk. So he's in a little less danger than he is certainly. Green around the gills, and but not for the reason you think. He's new at this. But you all have drank with Danny before. Like maybe it was funny when he first joined. Like, oh, let's get this kid drunk, and everybody's drunk but Danny. We're like, oh, but what is wrong with this guy? And then the doc was like, oh, did I forget to explain our biology works a little differently? Because she is drinking all the time, right?
That's water to them.
Yeah, it just is like tastes better than salt water. So that's. I think they do drink salt water though. I think that'd be kind of a fun twist. Like regular fresh water is not good for them. Like it tastes bad and it's like makes you kind of ill and that's a fun twist.
Okay. Yeah, we'll maybe we'll flesh that out.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Merfolk, Mer-ish. Okay, and Doc and Cook, Tarina are also go into town, but more on the end of like looking for supplies and just getting stuff for the ship in general. And this port has a very good reputation. There's no reason to think like, oh, we should. I mean, certainly like lock up the valuables and do what we need to do, and make sure Soiler the sailor makes his way down the pier. But this isn't the kind of like raggedy place where people break into ships or steal them off the dock or whatever. There are guards, and you pay a fee to dock here, and it's
Civilized.
it's certainly safe.
I think it's probably like very taboo to commit murders here for any reason because
Yeah,
it's
and I think
Disrespectful.
people are
Yeah.
maybe scared to as well. Like oh yeah, like there could be immediate repercussions.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the ghosts will tell on you.
exactly. There are witnesses everywhere.
Yeah, which also means there are witnesses everywhere all the time.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you might.
Not if they don't manifest.
Yeah. I
We're
can see that.
visiting their place.
Right.
True. Okay, so the let's follow Wall for
Yeah.
a moment. You head down the docks, and at the end of the dock there are a couple of people working. These two tall, so a man and a woman who look like they're probably related, siblings. They're really close to age. But they're like 6'6", fairly lanky, right? Not real broad-shouldered, but they're standing at the end of the dock, like shouting news, and it like one of them will be answering questions for someone, the other one is like shouting the headlines of the day. They also have paper, like newspaper. It's like
A
a
broadsheet.
sheet of paper.
Yeah.
That people can take. They're just free.
Okay.
But it does look like they're giving directions to people
Okay.
and answering questions and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So.
Wall's gonna approach.
Okay.
He's at this point. He doesn't really walk around with his tattoos showing. But he's walking up to them and just asking, "Hail there, son. I'm looking for a haunt house. Can you point me to the direction?"
Is Wall carrying Lucky, or is Wall just guiding Lucky?
Lucky
Like
can
half
walk.
half.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, she can walk.
Yeah.
It's once you get her going,
Yeah.
she's just autonomic, like, just New Yorker walk, just ready to go. This guy turns. Is Wall tall? I forget.
He is about my height, which is like 5'5".
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy's like a foot taller than you. And when he speaks, he has a bit of a scratch in the back of his throat that I'm not gonna do, but it's almost like this brother and sister may be really far descended from a Kinku, bird people kind of thing,
Okay.
even more so than the merfolk,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
But it has that almost parody kind of when he's talking to you. You're like, okay, this makes sense when he's being loud, but it's sort of hard for him to have a normal volume conversation. So it's
Right.
but yeah, he is predisposed to loudness. And,
Okay.
What can I help you find?
A haunt house. You've heard of it?
A hunting lodge? He's trying to understand you.
Kind of exasperated. Wall just rolls up his sleeves. I'm looking for a place where someone can go, where they will be safe while they're attending to spiritual matters.
Oh, a haunt house.
Yes.
Why didn't you just say that?
Apparently they're...
Pardon an old man for his tiredness. It's been a long journey.
Haunt house is up that way. And you take the elevator.
Elevator. Does it have a name other than haunt house?
Well, there's only one out here.
I appreciate it. I just toss him a coin.
Okay. Yeah, he takes it. Is not a stranger to tips.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems to be a normal thing. So, you find there are actually 4 of these elevators. There's 2 of them that are a little bit smaller, and 2 that are really, really big. And the smaller ones are free. The big ones, if you're gonna bring an ox or something, you gotta pay to take that up.
Okay.
But yeah, you make your way all the way up. And I don't know how Wall is with heights, but I think it's about halfway up. This cliff for us is 10 or 12 stories, right? It's pretty tall. And they've used a lot of that space. They've cut levels into the stone.
Right.
Right? If all the wood stuff fell away, it'd be like this sideways bookshelf, right? It's these layers cut into the cliff. And then they've built out from there.
It's actually cake.
Cake. Yeah, layer cake is a way better metaphor. That's why sideways bookshelf when layer cake is right there. Oh my god. My brain is a fascinating place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. So yeah, when you get 6 or 7 stories up, I don't know how many times you've been this high up and just be looking over a little bit, railing.
Yeah. No. Wall's okay if he's climbing, but he's in a contraption and he doesn't like that.
Out of his control.
Yeah.
And it's we shouldn't call it rickety. It wouldn't be fair to the workmanship here, but it's certainly creak and you can hear the pulley is it's doing the work of a machine, right? It's noticeable.
We'll have to make note of this in our review, Josie.
I think Lucky mutters something like 1 star in her weird creepy voice right now, or but yeah, there's a gust of wind and the whole thing rattles for a second and they stop pulling and then they resume. It's just that moment for Wall. I like kind of see because he's this big tough guy.
Yeah,
and-
he definitely like grabs onto like, and then he's like, that's fine.
yeah.
We're fine.
So not full on B.A. Baracus, who won't get the A team.
I
You
don't.
Okay,
Not
well,
familiar.
That's fine. B.A. is played by Mr. T.
Oh,
And
okay.
big tough guy. If you don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But he's terrified of airplanes. Like they have to physically knock him out to get him onto an airplane.
Or
And-
drug him, which is not a great look these days. But
yeah.
yes.
Wall doesn't like not being in direct control
Yeah.
of his environment.
But isn't straight up phobic.
No.
To the panic.
He'll adapt, but he's not liking this
Okay.
contraption.
I do want to say that there is probably a really fancy eatery that's like 2/3 of the way up on this wall. So that might be part of the experience, is that you're, in this carved out section on there and you get to look out over the port.
Oh yeah, I think
Kinda
probably
neat.
the higher levels are the fancier ones,
Yeah.
right? Like it's down below is working and whatever.
Yeah, like Coruscant.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like Coruscant. But then there's like the last couple levels that's where shipments are coming in from the top, and you don't want to, have that be interrupted. So there's like this band of real fancy shit in that top
the
third.
promenade.
Yeah, and then that last level or couple levels is back to, all right, let's lead the ox, and like put the hood over the ox so it doesn't freak
Right.
out on the elevator, and bring it on the thing. And but yeah, you arrive at
Full
the
head
top.
feed bags.
Yeah. Like, oh, food. That sounds good to me. Maybe I could have feedback. In real life,
Oh, big time.
That's
just
well, that's like you've seen the people who put their hoodie on backwards and they've got the hood right here.
Yeah.
And then they'll put like popcorn or whatever,
Yeah.
chips, and it's essentially a feed bag.
yeah. It'd be good for like a pet. You could put like a little pet in there.
Yes, you could.
That'd be cute.
Yeah, if you want to get your face clawed off, but maybe that's just my pets.
I mean, yeah, if there's a pet that was into it. Yeah. Anyway, when you get to the top, there is there are like 3 roads radiating out from this. It's a pretty big, like half circle market, right? Where there are stalls and vendors and all kinds of stuff available, and there's a road that heads, let's just say north, right? This is
Okay.
on the south cliff face of the island, and then there are roads that essentially follow the line of the cliff to east and west, and then wiggling for because it's not straight east or west, but that's the basic arrangement here.
Okay.
And when you get there, you see there are some signs and the directions that guy gave you. You work out like, okay, we got to turn left, go west from here, and you walk Lucky down the road. And just to move things forward a little bit, you eventually come to a place that looks like kind of like an inn, like a 1-story inn. But it has, and all of the roads here have these stone lights, like lanterns, right? Stone lanterns that are about 3 feet tall, and they're this white granite, and inside is this kind of blue-green glow. It's not fire, but it's some sort of persistent glow. And midday, it's not that noticeable, but you can imagine like, oh, I bet this is, 1, convenient,
Right.
and 2, pretty. But this building that you come to looks like a little 1-story inn, except instead of, charming, wooden features or whatever, it's several slabs of stone, like chunked down and carved a door out of it. And it's like somebody built a mausoleum to look a little friendly. And, there's a sign out front that says Haunt House.
Okay.
And
Does Wall see that like there are other occupants here?
no, but you can see somebody at a sort of welcome desk
Okay.
through the door. There's no door on
Oh,
the, there's
okay.
a doorway.
Okay.
right? And then there's the lobby inside, but there's apparently no way to close it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I have a new occupant for you.
Ah. And well, let's see. What are we gonna say? I think you've got I think just this 20-something gal there who was sitting behind reading a book. She's got like this great big tome cracked open on the desk in front of her. But otherwise seems cheery and like out of place a little bit. She says, "Oh, looks like she's most of the way on her way already. Is everything all right?"
Are you familiar with this condition?
Well, yes. Normally they don't do that until they've got their spot. But is she all right?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Well, let's see. And she blinks quickly a few times, and this, I would say white film, but it's more like mist. Her eyes fill with mist, and she looks Lucky up and down, and then is like, "Oh, hello," and like looks at Arjun, and she says to Arjun, like, "Are you the guide?" And you can hear Arjun, but Arjun doesn't manifest for you. Arjun says, "Well, no, I'm the attendant," and that seems to mean something to this girl. And she said, "Okay, well, let's get you set up and make sure everything's okay. I'll show you where she'll rest, and then, you know."
My thanks.
So she leads you to, away from the lobby. There are like a couple of couches that I don't know why they're there. Like no one has sat in these couches for a long time.
Right.
But you head into a hallway, and there are, it's sort of like a slightly roomier, a little bit nicer catacomb, right? In that there are these long slots in the wall that somebody can slide into, and it's just a little bit bigger than
Niches.
yeah exactly. And they are also not stacked on top of each other, right? There's like one niche, and they're all at about 4 feet off the ground, and then there's just a line of those, and there's like 10 on this side and 10 on that side, and you can actually see a couple pairs of feet, sticking out in here, and
none of them look decomposed or anything. They're just people in there.
well, I mean, you just see shoes sticking out. So yeah.
Okay.
And the attendant, the gal at the desk, right, says, "Do you know? Does she have a favorite number?"
I don't know that Wall would know that.
Roll a d20 for me.
16.
Okay. Wall thinks her favorite number is 16.
I believe it'd be 16. 10 and 6.
Arjun like speaks of like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that."
You learn things when you spar.
Oh, I'll have to ask her about that later. Okay. And the gal from the front says, "Well, that 16 is open, so there's no reason not to." And she leads the way and very gently helps, get Lucky into the spot. And it you realize, like, once you're getting in there, there's this little bit of levitation magic that you are kind of brushing the stone, but it's not really your weight on the stone.
Yeah.
And it just creates a little bit of a
just like conveying.
That puts you in there, and it's kind of a
magical gurney.
Yeah, gurney, but also sensory deprivation, right? That's kind of the what you would get out of that. Is like, all right, you could lay there and like really shut out the world. And it probably when your head is in there, like it's got to be quiet, right? With all this solid stone all over. And the gal from the front says, "All right, well, who should I say brought her in if she asks?"
Crew of the Salamander.
Okay. And Arjun speaks up and actually pushes forward to be seen a little bit. And kind of puts her hand on the front of your shoulder, but is looking at the gal.
Mm-hmm.
And Arjun says, "This is a consulate guard. And he brought Lucky Joshi to safety. Write it down." And the gal is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't realize.
It's quite all right.
I will go make a note of this." And she just kind of brushes out to the lobby.
Arjun, I know you don't like making yourself known to me, but why do I not remember any of this?
Well, that'll be between you and the consulate. Their reasons for things are often as much a mystery to me as you.
Perhaps I should make an effort to be more open. Thank you for being here.
She just fades away. She's probably still here, but...
I don't know if you're still listening, but I'd like to tell you my story now. And then we'll cut away.
Okay. So, meanwhile, back in town...
Right. So we're exiting the ship. He will straighten his coat, say, "All right, Salamander, remember to walk with confidence, and not too quickly, because my legs are significantly shorter than yours. But I have 3 tasks that I need to accomplish while we're here."
All right.
All right. First, he rips a sheet of paper out of his book. "I need to send a letter. Where do I send a letter?" In a port.
You've never been away from home before.
Really.
Where do you need to send the letter to?
I was going to send it back home to my mother.
To the spire.
Then the dockmaster will probably
not
be
going
able
to.
to
Oh,
find the next ship that is heading in that direction.
Okay, was there some kind of postmaster?
there also is a more expensive, like, sort of mystical bird, kind of thing. Like, most post is handled, like you said, shipping back and forth. But there are magical means as well if you're willing to pay.
How urgent is this letter?
I would like to get it to them within the month. I'm sure my mother worries about me.
If you're willing to spend the coin, there is the airmail.
Go and I'll count his coins. Let's see how much money he has.
Sure. Quest specifically says,
That's a,
don't worry about
worry
the
about
day-to-day
It's
coinage.
about average coin. It's like a 9, so
Sure.
not a ton of money. And I might need to save my money for something else, so I suppose just a regular.
Well, it's also a world full of barter, and, you never know what kind of arrangement could be made.
Oh, right.
So the dockmaster, if it does not need to be there immediately, but if you need it to be swifter, airmail is a sure bet.
Well, it's not that urgent.
From here, it's called scare mail.
Scare mail.
I just don't want my mother to worry too much about me. So I thought I would write home and just let her know that
Well, and
I'm alive.
for context, remember it took about 10 days to get here. So a ship going to the Spire or a
Mhm,
Creek Town would get that in the system within a couple weeks.
I mean, assuming that that something is going to leave within the week, which seems likely,
Yes.
probably
and
could be there within 2-3
yes,
weeks.
let's see the dockmaster, because I think they'll probably be able to lead me to these other things I'm looking for. At least direct us to where we should go. So yes. Onward to the dockmaster, whatever they look like.
Yeah, I think you have an idea of who to look for because you had to pay one of the, dock assistants, right, to dock.
Mhm.
But, as you get towards the end of the pier, well, the start of the pier, the land end of the pier.
Right.
The end of the pier is where you fall off into the water.
Yes. Well, the beginning of the
Right.
pier.
Long
Yes.
walk off a short pier.
Yeah, right. So, yes, when you get to the landed end of the pier,
Mhm.
there is a little building. And it is tiny, but tidy, right? It's this very tidily made almost like the tiny house, in real life. That this, I don't know if you've seen any of those online, but there is a little building that it's like its ass is hanging off the dock, right? And there's like some braces holding it up, and it's like they didn't want to take up any space on the dock, so they just levered it off the side and like, yeah, all right, this will hold up. There's only a couple people in there and whatever. And when you go in, there are a couple windows. You can see that the dockmaster's at their desk, and the whole place is like the desk can like move a little bit, fold, slide. There's all these kind of things they can pull into place. And the dockmaster is this bright green fairy, and I would say, I don't know how big Tinkerbell's supposed to be, but like I'm thinking like a foot tall, probably four, 2 sets of gossamer wings, and very classic looking humanoid fairy. And when she smiles, though, her mouth is just full of sharp teeth. But has the most like Disney princess happy voice, right? But like I can't. I don't know.
Don't make me do it.
Please, I mean, by all means,
No, it's
have a
okay.
conversation with
Another
yourself.
time. But when,
Hello, welcome to the docks.
so when Third enters and sees this fairy, he kind of stops short. It's like, hello.
Has Third met a pixie before? A fairy?
He has not, but his father's very superstitious of face stuff. There's a
Oh.
reason why he goes by Third.
Oh,
around
interesting. Okay.
So, hello. I am looking to send a letter. Is there perhaps a ship headed for Eversummer soon, or someone who carries mail?
Oh, well, I think so. Hold on, let me see. And she kind of gestures more than grabbing things to move them, but like several things slide into place. Maps roll up and other maps roll down, and she's, looking back and forth. And then when she looks out the window glows. Like the ships that she can see through the window, several of them light up through, like, is outlined in the glass of the window. And she, oh, there are several ships. I just, you said you want to send a letter?
Oh, yes.
Well, just give me your name and the name of who you want to send it to, and just, give me all of your information, and I'll make sure it gets to where it's supposed to go.
And it's,
They
The-
need to know where the letter is going.
Right.
You're the crew of the
Um,
Salamander, right? And she's
yes.
asking that, like, she knows that she's right, but she's trying to be polite,
yes. He folds up the sheet of paper. Goes, do you happen to have a wax seal or something I could just?
Oh, of course, here.
Thank you
And
so
she
much. We didn't
gestures
have
in, like,
these.
a little, like, boop, boop,
Very kind of you. Yes, no. Yes, I'll just write the address on this letter, and it can just go to this address.
Well, right, but I just, for my ledger, I need to say who sent it in case there's
Um,
something wrong with it, or
Oh, you can just
something
write
comes
Third.
back. Third?
Third, yes.
Third isn't any kind of name.
Yes, my parents named me that.
That's so unique. I've never heard that name before.
Thank you. Well, you'll be surprised to know of my siblings first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Well, I just want to make sure that
No
everything gets to where
second?
it's supposed to go.
Did I not say second?
You didn't,
First
but I
second.
thought maybe that was
No,
a plot.
first
That was a
second.
plot thing. Maybe
I meant to say
there's-
first, second, fourth, fifth, and
Okay,
sixth.
well, retcon that in.
Yes.
That's what
you know
was
what I
said.
mean, guys.
All right, so there is a
I was super curious. I'm like, ooh, what happened to second?
I'll tell you what happened to sixth after this game. Anyway.
does Third have any resistance to enchantments or charms or?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so she's
I do have a skill called Silver Tongue,
uh-huh.
which is I didn't bring my reading glasses. Basically, you appeal to your adversaries when caught in a prohibited or mischievous act. One of these approaches is correct. The guide writes down which is secret. Either orders, someone with authority has commanded you do it. Ignorance, you didn't know any better. Or craft, you offer something of value to make this all go away.
Mhm.
I have to spend 1 AP to use it. So
I have to
you
pick-
have to decide one of those three.
It's,
Either orders, ignorance, or craft.
Okay, I have written down my answer.
Okay. What if I really don't think it's all that important. Perhaps
Now, do you have to spend an AP for this?
Yes.
Or yeah,
Yes, I
okay.
do.
And then you don't have to roll anything?
no, but I have to guess which one it is. I could spend another AP to remove one of the options.
Mm.
I don't think it's that vital to do it right now.
Okay.
So he's going to
Phone a friend.
Tell you what, before you do this,
yes.
I'm gonna roll my enchantment
Mhm.
just to see how that colors the effect.
Okay.
It's not gonna force you to blurt out your
Okay,
name,
yeah.
but I'm curious to see
What's
if
the
you end up
flavor?
flustered or
Okay. Yes.
right.
Oh, he's clearly flustered.
Oh, I rolled a
Ooh.
nat 1.
Okay.
So you also, in having a conversation with the fairy, you can actually hear the music. Her name is made up of musical notes. And she accidentally reveals that to you in, when she's trying to sing-songy, convince you to like, come on, you can tell me your name, and then
And I'll
that,
kind of mimic that.
yeah. And so you actually know her true name.
Haha.
Mm.
Well, as you see, it is quite all right. Here,
Mm.
for your troubles, and he this little floosh, and a flower appears. He says, if you would be so kind, just to send my letter, I would greatly appreciate it. So I will offer her a craft. So I've given her a rose
Okay,
as a token of.
that is what I wrote down.
Yeah,
So,
guess right.
And she accepts it, but I want to know: are you working in your knowledge of her name somehow, or just operating in the confidence that she didn't?
I'm operating in confidence, and I'm parroting her voice and vocal mannerisms,
okay.
which is actually another skill I have. It costs nothing. So I'm basically just vibing with her by
Okay.
matching her body language and voice.
Okay.
So maybe she'll like me.
I am just gonna, without even needing to roll, you pick up. She thinks you're one of the Fae as well,
Okay.
because her magic didn't work, and the only reason it wouldn't have worked is if you were a more powerful Fae than her. And not that she's a powerful Fae, but she's a Fae. She gets a lot of what she wants. So, yeah, you have someone who believes you to be essentially a kindred spirit. So,
Okay, then I will see if she will take the letter and
yep, she does.
pass on to
Yeah.
her. Thank you so much. And just a few quick questions for you, if you don't mind. I need do you know where I might find a caboodle?
Okay, now your GM is asking,
Okay.
what is a caboodle
That's
in this
the joke.
context? Okay, we don't have to answer it then.
Okay.
All right. The I
If
just
you say she directs me to the correct place. Or...
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll get to that later. And also,
He has his kit. He needs a caboodle.
Yeah.
he needs a caboodle.
Yeah, we established that before. I recall.
We'll get there. I was hoping Lucky might know. So, and then also, I just so happen to be a bard, traveling bard.
Of
as you can
course
see.
you are.
Ah,
With a voice like yours.
I'm surprised you aren't one as well. So, I was wondering, are there any places that might be looking for performers?
Well, most of the places here have their regular acts, but the place on 10th was looking for a new sound.
I certainly have plenty of those. And which direction is 10th? I am new in town.
Oh, she like looks out the window up the elevator at the 10th layer of the cake, which is, let's say there are 12 total, and
This is 10 forward.
Yeah.
it's on 10th.
Oh, excellent. I'll ask him when we go. Thank you so much for it. You've been so incredibly helpful.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Third. You'll see me again.
I'm quite sure. Very well. Thank you so much. Shall we?
It also will occur to you, Third, leaving that she at no point indicated her, even like a calling name. Like, didn't even give that.
That's fine. he
But
was-
you actually know her true name, so
Yes, I was tempted
Unbeknownst to her.
to say it back in farewell, but I'm
yeah,
not going to do
like
that.
whistle it on your way out.
Yep.
Or, yeah.
Whistling those two. Why is this one stuck in my head? I don't know. There you go.
Well, now that that's settled, you needed a caboodle.
I need a caboodle.
There's a store I think that may be able to help. I saw a sign on the way in.
Oh, excellent. Ah, yes, this one. Perfect. And the store we enter appears to be a cosmetics store.
Okay.
Full of perfumes. Yes, this will do nicely. And he will start. Do you have little shopping baskets?
Yes, wicker baskets.
So you
Well,
have wicker baskets like, oh yes, I some of this and some of this, some of this. Well, you see, Sal, because we had to run away so quickly, I only had my coins and some of my books on me, and I had left my caboodle back at the inn, and I wasn't able to get it. Every good performer needs a caboodle. And he looks around the store and goes, ah, yes, there. And you see basically what looks like a very fancy tackle box that opens up, and he opens up and say, and then look, and then a drawer folds out, and there's another drawer and another drawer.
Yeah.
And
A full on like makeup kit kind of thing.
yes,
Uh huh.
it's a makeup kit, disguise kit. So for people who were in the 90s who like to wear makeup, a caboodle was it was this very trendy like tackle box type thing.
I
that teen
remember
girls
now
loved
that
to
you
have.
mentioned
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
that was the joke. It's like maybe Pooja knows what I'm talking about. But yes, he needs,
I recall now.
yeah. So that was he needs a caboodle for his makeup so he can be a performer. So he'll go around and he finds. What do you think of this one, Sal? Do you like this one, or should I go with the blue?
I think the blue does good things for your eyes
That's not really
if you're matching.
Mm.
I can tell you have discerning tastes. And this,
That-
like,
blue?
at least 300-year-old man, like, probably not really, but like, comes
Could
just
be it's
like
the fantasy world.
Yoda walking, like, he has a little cane
Yes.
and is probably 4.5 feet tall,
Mhm.
was probably taller 150 years ago.
Yes.
But, and all the shelves are much too high in here for him, so who knows?
That's okay.
He probably-
Sal's quite tall.
He has shop assistants and whatever, but he says, if you like that caboodle, I might be able to interest you in one slightly better.
Oh, is there something in the back?
Indeed there is. Oh, wait here.
While I wait, I'm telling Sal like, so this is how eyeshadow works, and this is eyeliner, and then this for your lips, and then I'm explaining makeup for Sal.
Is there something that would work for me?
I don't see why not. I mean, normally with wood, one would use paint, but that's a bit permanent. Let's see. And then I'll take Sal's hand, and I'll pull them to like the foundation aisle. I'll start like trying to match what color goes with wood. This one's a little too low tone. Ah, this one seems to be matched.
What are we thinking, like a pine base?
No,
oak,
Sal is like a rich mahogany.
oh, right, that kind of reddish brown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
okay.
a dark reddish brown, and then with like the hardwood striping.
Yeah. Love
Again, a
it.
little difficult to match, but we can blend colors. You just see this look in his eyes. That Third seems very excited
Project.
to put you in makeup.
Sal is very interested.
Yes.
From the back, you hear like a minor crash, right? Then, aha! I knew it. And
Is everything okay?
oh yes. And this guy comes tottering out. He's not using his cane. He's just holding this like much bigger tackle box
Right.
over his head, like just
What are you talking about? You don't do voices. This is great.
Elephant, I will protect this.
Um,
elephant.
and his head, like his chin would be at the countertop. Well, no, he's 4.5 feet tall. That's he's
Slightly above.
yeah, but he sets it there and he says, I'll bet you have applied some detail at some point and wished you had done it differently.
All the time. Yes.
Observe. And he gets a step stool so he can, when this thing opens up, it opens this way, it opens sideways, it opens, like, well, it's bigger on the inside. And actually it might be. but the mirror in it is the mirror is bigger than the space allows, right? It like creates an image of his face kind of floating in air. And then he goes and draws like this picture perfect, wing, like
It's a perfect wing dot.
just like barely even like, and says, "Behold, I have fucked it up."
We need to recruit this person onto the ship immediately.
Seriously.
I love him.
And he reaches out to the image of him, and like, it's like if you were gonna smudge the makeup, but it moves the line of the wing down, like Photoshop, right? And you watch on his face as the line bends down and says, "All of this makeup is perfectly normal and natural. It's the mirror is the real trick."
Gosh, I have enough money. Sal, I might have to borrow some money. Dare I ask how much? It's very fancy, but I kind of want it.
I didn't think I would find somebody who would appreciate it. I would rather a favor.
What kind of favor?
Jason, please say for me, stay a while and listen in that voice.
Stay a while and listen.
Yes, thank you.
13 hours later.
I've never done this voice before. I didn't know how it was gonna go. Actually, true. He said, so he pulls the, what is essentially an oblong, kind of quartzy looking gem. It's like a really clear agate, right? So he pulls that out and he says, gestures at the box you had picked out, and we can, whatever palette suits you, can add that there, but I could use some help. It's been impossible to purchase new Kraken ink. And some of our best lines require it.
Ooh. Well, I've only been traveling so long, but I suppose we could ask our companions. Sal, any thoughts? Kraken ink?
Not to mention, the moon is only 3 months away.
That's true, all those tattoos. Wait, actually, I don't know if the third really know that. How much you know about the tattoos?
I think Danny's been talking about it.
Yeah, because Dan's really
Danny's
excited about
excited.
getting
Yeah.
his ring.
Is that the ink that people for the tattoo rings? Oh,
Indeed.
it's probably going to be a little difficult to find this time.
How much does Sal know about how, like, acquiring it? Like, my understanding is it's somewhat of a mystery and a difficult, like, it's sort of a trade secret, and it's not, you can't just go buy a jar of ink at the local ink store.
That part's correct. And it's not a mystery so much as it's wildly difficult. Assuming you can find a Kraken that is big enough to qualify for that title, right?
Right.
They're essentially giant octopus squid thing, right? But like a little octopus ink, that's not going to do it, right? There's a moment where a Kraken is big enough and mature enough that its ink is magically imbued, right? So one, finding a Kraken that you could defeat and isn't so big it will defeat you. Then you win and successfully extract however much its ink gland has. Ideally, you get the gland whole, because that lasts the longest, and then you can take wherever, and somebody will pay you a lot. Well, nobody really pays money for them. That's also bad luck. Is you don't pay money for it, you pay in favors. So
We don't just happen to have some on the ship, do we?
No.
Hmm.
If I had a ink gland on the ship, there are many things that would be fixed rapidly.
That's fair.
your mannequin speaks.
Yes, of course they speak.
I'm a person, not a mannequin.
Oh, my apologies. And he backs up and gives you a deep bow from the waist, and then he has to use his cane to like. There's a lot of cracking and popping, but he seems genuinely apologetic.
I bow as well and say, apologies for my snappishness. There was an incident not too long ago.
No, you do not owe me an apology.
I'll give Sal a little pat on the arm. It's okay. Huh. It's cracking ink. I
We
really
could
want-
talk to Wall. He probably knows more about Kraken Ink than anyone else that I know of.
True. Well, I suppose we'll have to ask and I'll have to come back later because I need a caboodle to hold all these cosmetics. So would
The gem can be transferred between caboodles.
Oh yes, he's already kind of like pulled it out to, hold it up.
oh,
like,
that's
here's-
what you meant.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can replace the mirror
Oh,
in
I
any
thought the
caboodle.
caboodle itself was magic. It's the mirror. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose I could purchase the basic caboodle and cosmetics for now, and then if we happen to come across some cracking, then I think that would be a reasonable trade.
My friend is very interested, and we will do what we can. Is there a quantity that you are looking for? I understand that, of course, you want as much as possible for your cosmetic lines, which, by the way, from what my limited experience tells me, they appear to be quite high quality.
Well, thank you. Your flattery is received and appreciated. This mirror, admittedly, is not worth an entire sack. But if you bring it to me, I will also include a hat of looks.
Hat of looks.
Hold on. Totters into the back again.
This may take a minute. We're just wandering around,
Clang.
looking,
Crash, crash,
reading ingredients on.
There's a cat like,
Comes running out.
you
Yeah.
get out of my way.
Mittens.
And then he comes back out with a sort of Robin Hood cap with a like ridiculous rainbow feather coming like 3 foot long feather. And he comes out and tops it on his head and immediately appears as this like 6 foot tall Prince Gallant, but with his voice. Like, behold, I'm hot.
Indeed, so
Again,
you are.
you didn't know me in my youth. You would be very jealous.
I can certainly imagine that you were indeed quite hot.
I reach out to where the shoulder is of the image,
Mm.
and does it feel solid, or do I?
No,
hand
and
past
in fact, you feel his hand like slap it. Rude.
It's my turn to apologize to
He's
you.
laughing, but
Oh,
so it's not a shape change. It is purely an illusion, and it doesn't account for any extra space that the illusion, the desired
Sure.
illusion. But
It
yeah,
could prove quite useful for someone like yourself.
What do
Think of
you
it.
mean?
You stand out in a crowd.
Yes.
There might be occasions when one needs to blend into the crowd for safety reasons. So it might not be a bad idea to acquire.
well, this hat is for making you hot.
Oh, Sal's already quite.
Indeed. But this is my offer. An entire ink sack for the mirror and the hat.
Oh, you know who would really like this hat? Lucky. She would just be like, wow, look how hot I am. I really think she
And
should do it for Lucky.
he also dismisses the illusion, and it's just like the little old man with this green hat on his head at a jaunty angle.
Well,
Does the hat allow different looks?
Oh yes. And
Just want to confirm.
yeah, he flips between like being a gorilla and
A hot gorilla.
yes, a gorilla with a bow in its hair. It's switches to woman in a gown and a sort of, adventurer's outfit of like lots of pouches and a whip, probably.
Okay.
They're all hot.
Yes.
It's a hat
Oh
with
yeah.
hotness.
Yes.
Just to be distinct.
That's the main thing.
Right, well.
And also most of them, you realize like it's essentially his facial features.
Just a little bit
Yeah,
changed
just-
and de-aged
yeah,
in some cases.
yeah, aged and gendered or whatever, right? Like it's or gorillaed. if- But you'll notice he didn't turn into like a dog or a cat or anything. I don't know.
Humanoid-ish, probably.
Hmm.
Well, if we can acquire this hat, then we get to experiment.
We are very interested. How long is your offer good for?
Until you bring me the ink.
Just wanted to make sure there was not a limited time or if you had made the offer to others.
Well, I need it for this season. And
No, that's fair.
if you can bring it to me before the moons,
Well,
All
we'll
the
see.
better.
I will. If you bring it to me this season in time to use, I will perform your tattoos for free.
That sounds wonderful.
That is
Yes.
very generous.
We should go find our friends and gauge their
Um,
interests.
Third, he is reaching with his cane to like push your sleeves up, if you let him.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so he like shoves one sleeve up. Slip.
What's he looking for?
He's looking for rings.
No,
tattoo
there's no rings, but he does find like a cuff with like a weird little like card holder thing in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but no tattoos.
Okay.
All right.
So he like taps the cartilage. Very
Yeah,
good.
careful. It's
Hmm.
little flammable. How much do we owe you for the cosmetics and the little?
Yeah, so with
just total it up and
Hand wavy a
Yes,
coin
you can.
amount, which that's not what we're
Hand-wavium,
interested in.
yes, okay.
Yes, hand wavium exchanged.
With Third's help, Sal has also picked up some various cosmetics.
Yes. Oh, well, he will absolutely help you find whatever you want.
Good.
Okay.
Alright, well,
That is the second. What is the third thing?
well, it was to find a performance
sorry.
space, but we
He-
should.
He also wanted to get your name.
Oh, third of Andros. I hope to be performing somewhere on the 10th
10th.
floor soon. I haven't. I'm new in town, so I haven't quite booked that yet.
Hmm.
Keep an ear out. I would love to have you as my guest.
Third isn't any kind of name. But he doesn't. He's not pushing. He's just like, that's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Kids these days.
Yeah, that's an outrageous claim.
And your name, sir.
Wait, no. I
like,
I have one for this.
Decker Kane.
You have the pleasure of speaking with the one and only Fizzle Crank Bumble Switch.
That is a magnificent name. And I am writing it down. Fizzle Crank Bumble Switch?
Obviously.
No, I was confirming
the-
that I wrote it down.
The Bumble Switches. Yes.
Wow. Wait, have I heard of the Bumble Switches?
Roll.
Let's find out. Oh, I sure have. That was an 18.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You're
there
the
are.
Bumble Switches.
There is a line that there is a 1,000 years ago there was a Bumble Switch inventor, right? And since then there have been just a line of inventors, right? 10 generations or more. Well, 1,000 years is what, 100 generations? Like I don't know. Yeah,
A lot of
Uh,
generations.
yeah. Generations like 30 or whatever. I can't.
Well, they're very long lived. This guy is like
Right.
300.
That's true.
He's probably not literally 300. He just looks really old. So, yeah, that's. Yeah, you met an honest to God Bumble Switch.
Wow. I knew it was worth going on this adventure.
It's like meeting a Tesla of the Nikola Tesla line.
Yeah, the good ones.
So Third is now just like blushing with excitement. Like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. We should get on that task.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Take care. See you soon.
All right. Just sort of It turns around and walks away without really like conversation over. Stupid name.
Third.
Third of what?
Of 6, soon to be 7.
Third offended us.
Yeah. So you wanted to head up to 10th?
Yes, but maybe Wall would like to continue his side of the
Well,
story.
yeah, let's good.
Wall is going to take a moment to talk to the young lass at the counter and just ask, what is your opinion of the consulate? What have you heard? What stories?
Well, you're a guard.
Yes, I am. But don't let that be a hindrance to your honesty.
Ah. Were you initiated recently?
It seems at some point I struck a bargain, but I cannot remember it.
A battlefield bargain.
Perhaps.
Okay. And your memory was clouded?
One could say that, yes.
Do you remember more of the encounter now?
Pieces, as though they're someone's memory, but not mine, and yet familiar.
And do you remember your performance in the battle that led up to that?
I know that I'm alive.
Okay. I can't answer this for you, but I can give you a tool. And she goes to there's like a big library of books under the desk that she was standing at reading this huge tome. And in there, she pulls out a scroll case. It's, about a foot long, pops off the end of it. It looks like it's waterproof. And pulls out the scroll. I mean, it looks really nice. It's like really high quality paper, vellum. And rolls it out, and it's completely blank. And she says, if you write down your experience from the battle, the rest of that meeting will become clear to you, and you can write that down as well. But it should be on this paper, and it should be with the finest ink you can get.
Kraken's ink.
Well, it doesn't have to be, but that would certainly work. It would work better than anything else. But it might be overwhelming.
Indeed. May I take this scroll then?
This is yours as your office.
Thank you. I shall be away to find my companions, but I'll be back to collect Lucky when she's ready.
We'll alert you.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna say she gives you a little, like a brooch pin kind of thing that you put it in your pocket or wear it if you want. But it's skull and crossbones. No, I don't know what it would be. It's a indistinct shape of some kind that we'll realize it means something later.
What is TGI Fridays?
This will buzz when your table's ready. When your tablet's ready. No, but she gives you the scroll case and this little pin and and you realize whatever that sort of abstract symbol is, it is worked into some of the scroll work in the room and no, that's not scroll. What's that called? Not wainscoting.
Like filigree or?
Yeah, it's like in the edges of the room.
Oh, okay.
It's a, like how the Greeks had that repeating wave
the
pattern.
corner,
Yeah, this is like that, but it looks like a tangled bramble kind of, and then in the repeating pattern you can see, okay, this is a tangled bramble, but I don't really understand the meaning of it, or like what the point of that is.
Okay.
Crown molding?
Crown molding, thank you. Yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
I take my leave, thank you.
Molding means something a little different to these folks, but molding crown is the more, sorry, Queen of Death.
We got you. We're with you.
Maybe I should explain it more.
Well, it does make it funnier.
Yeah, everyone knows that. So you're headed back down?
Wall is, as long as he feels that Lucky is safe here, he's gonna find his companions.
Okay. All right, so I need a name of a place from you all. Kotil took Danny to a place on one,
Mm.
on one,
Mm.
on first. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Who's on first?
Kotil and Danny.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the place it's a fairly raucous inn and saloon and bar and
The Drunken Eel.
well, here's the thing. It has a great
wheels.
big ship's steering wheel
Mm.
out front, like much bigger than would be on an actual ship. It's probably 10 feet across,
Mm.
right, with the handles on it, and it does spin. You're supposed to, spin it on the way in, and you don't get anything. You just like touch the wheel for luck, and you'll know where to go. And but it is a fairly rowdy. I think saloon is a better word.
The Giant's Compass.
Giant's Compass.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Giant's Compass and Inn. It's
Well, it's many things. It's all encompassing.
yes,
Mm.
indeed. Got it. So on first, it's there are like games tables and a bar and tables that are more just for eating. It doesn't really have booths. Its space is very like it's a little more crowded than what we think of as like a Vegas showroom. It's pretty, it's not loosey goosey with a few tables. They like packed as much stuff as they could practically put in here to keep people playing games and having fun. And you can, also rent people's services and whatever else that you might enjoy. This is that kind of place, and you can rent a room by yourself or with company. That's that's where Kotel has taken Danny. And Kotel has promised to wait there, not go to a second location, so that if you all want to meet up, he and Danny will be there.
Hopefully he didn't sign anything either, but we don't know yet. We'll find out. I feel like we would probably get there first.
Depends on
how
if
long
you
is-
wanted to head up to 10th to schedule your.
I think I'd rather meet up with the group first.
Okay.
In case he wants to come with.
Yeah, and I think the amount of time your 3 errands and your 1 long errand feels like the right amount of time to check in back at the wheel. Also, I think something that can be procured is like communication stones of some kind. If that's something you all want to get, that's probably something we could go and find.
Can I make a modification? Lore
Sure.
modification? What if they were like matching earrings that you can get with your crew?
Yeah.
Made with seashells.
They have to be. They have to be cut from the same bar of metal, and then the shell is added. And yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
for like sympathetic.
Yeah, so yeah, sympathetic magic.
Yeah.
They're quantumly entangled.
Yes.
Quantumly entangled.
Okay, so
It's nice though.
I'm gonna say actually that Wall gets there first,
Okay.
and you find Kotil is standing behind Danny.
Mm.
Danny is playing something like Texas Hold'em, right? There's like
Mm-hmm.
cards out, there's secret cards, there's
Mm.
probably 6 people at the table and a dealer, right?
Mhm.
And Danny has a lot of chips in front of him. And Kotil has a hand on Danny's shoulder, is like kind of whispering to himself, and he has a hand around this guy's waist, and they're like, clearly
Mhm.
together for tonight, at
Mhm.
least.
Sure.
So he is like kind of whispering to Danny, and with his companion, and it is noisy in here,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
There aren't all the like mechanical noises in like a Vegas slot machine kind of noise, but it's talking. There's a little stage. There's a singer. There's the bar. The bar is long and makes a 90-degree turn,
Mm.
right? There's like the kitchen is behind the bar, and so the bar goes all the way around that. It's really long. You could fit probably 30 people to a side,
Mm.
right? And then the games are all in this big, well, the games are along one part, and then there's tables to just sit and eat if you're not playing a game. And then there are stairs at the very back of the room. Like, you come in the front, you could go to the bar, rent a room, table, whatever it is you want to do, buy chips.
Mm.
And then there's stairs away at the end of the room that go up to where the rooms are. And that's our basic layout.
Mm.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah,
I can
sounds
I can scratch out a drawing
I
as
like
well,
it. I can
but
visualize it.
I think we got it.
okay. Yeah. What do you do, Wall?
I look around. Are there other seasoned sailors that I've seen in my many long years?
Like somebody specific you recognize?
Just looking for old familiar faces.
Let's call it a chance die.
Okay.
Let's roll.
8, which is
Okay.
a tough choice.
Yeah. I think you do. You recognize a group. Now, if it was a 1, I was gonna be like, yeah, your nemesis is here.
Okay.
Right? But
Window. It's you.
Ram, we meet again.
window and door. I knew I'd see you again. God opens the door. Sorry.
Well, we all know doors are the nemesis of any adventuring party.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, this is gonna be canon soon.
So
Damn you, a ladder.
you see a crew that is, it's only like a small fraction of the crew, but you recognize these 3 people, 2 women and a man, at a dice game, kind of in the back by the stairs. It'd be pretty easy not to deal with it, at least right now. You could be in here and not be noticed, probably.
Okay.
But there was like something went horribly wrong on that ship, and everyone blamed you and threw you off the ship, even though it wasn't your fault. Like we get a quick flash of like, walk the plank, and you had to swim to safety, and
Sure.
but yeah. So
Okay,
Wall
there's some
was
bad
blamed-
blood.
Yeah, blamed for something he didn't do. They were convinced he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know you didn't. But does that work okay?
Sure.
That's not too dark?
Nope.
All right.
Oh.
So, yeah, not nemesis level.
Okay.
And probably from their point of view, you took the punishment. If you survived, then the sea is okay with
I've been
that.
judged by the sea, and I'm
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not as bad as if you'd gotten a full-on fail,
Right.
right?
Right.
But who knows how they'll react to seeing you.
I'm going to avoid them for now.
Sure. Yeah, the gaming table that Danny and Kotil are at are right at the towards the entrance, and
Yeah.
their table is way at the back by the stairs that go up to the rooms.
I'm just gonna let the boys have fun.
Okay.
Wall's he's kind of in a mood. He kind of grabs a table and just kind of
Well,
he doesn't take out the scroll, but he's kind of like contemplating it.
I think right. Well, let's see. We came in midday.
We
It's
came in
probably
mid-morning.
early afternoon now, like after lunch.
Mm.
Yeah, there are food tables available.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
as opposed to gaming tables.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I was just imagining like he's playing the slowest game of blackjack. Like, because I just want to be left alone, but there's only gaming tables.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm only betting like single coins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Taking forever to flip, you
Mhm.
know.
Okay, so yeah, you manage to get a table, and waiter comes over, takes an order. Anything in particular you want to?
What can you recommend that's not on the menu?
Oh, we do have a couple of fresh barrels of the shit, I forgot what I was gonna call it. It's y'all can help me. It's a like distilled like a whiskey or gin or whatever made by merfolk. That I was trying to think of. It's like essentially a saltwater base, but fermented.
Interesting.
Spirit. And I had a name like fish whiskey, but that's not it, right?
Salt of the sea,
Kelp something.
briny,
Maybe.
briny deep.
Yeah, maybe brine something. We'll call it
Brine smoke.
Dark waters.
brine smoke.
The smokiness of the whiskey and the.
Yeah, I think there are probably a lot of like dark waters. What is a mixed drink? Is a cocktail you make with. I'm just gonna say they call it brine. I think that's good by itself. Like, the word means multiple things, right? But you also know at a bar, if you order brine, they might ask you, "Do you mean pickles?" But
Right.
Do you mean a pickleback or do you mean brine?
right, because it's relatively rare to have it.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, so they did just get in like 2 full barrels of brine.
I'll keep that in mind for when my companion can join me. Perhaps something that'll not addle my senses this evening. Food, perhaps.
Sure, we have an array of options, and just depends on.
Wall's gonna pick what he thinks is gonna be the best thing, and order several plates.
Okay, yeah, you've got stew and hot bread and
Probably a lot of fish.
yep,
Mm.
yeah, fish stew.
Fish buns.
Mm.
Yep.
Like like a pork bun, but with
Yep.
fish.
I had some of those last night.
Oh, nice. Like bao.
Yeah,
Oh.
like baked
Oh,
bao and then
no,
like
but-
taro buns. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out what was it around here.
Yeah, so we'll talk after.
Okay.
So.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're set up. You've
Mhm.
got a lot of stuff. The waiter comes out and like kind of puts all the plates right in front of you rather than spreading them out to the table. 'Cause he like doesn't know why you ordered 6 plates of food.
Perfect.
But at some point, Doc comes in. Not with Tarina, but Doc comes in and sits down with you.
Yep.
And she specifically sits to put her back to where Danny is. Like, she doesn't want to see her kid, like,
Yeah.
partying and get it. Like, it's fine. He can do what he wants to do, but she
Right.
doesn't want to watch it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she sits, like, a couple of chairs apart from you and just reaches to take one of the plates.
Yep. That's what it's for.
All right. And doesn't really have anything to say, just starts eating. Shall we enter
Sure.
stage left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sal and third enter stage left. Lo, there be our friend. Wall.
Forsooth, are those steamed buns?
Further they be. I don't know.
The bartender is biting his thumb at you.
Wait, does he bite his thumb or does
Or
he?
does by his thumb at us?
Thank you.
Perfect.
And see. I think that the two of us walk in and we've got like bags with us that are cosmetics. And then I know Sal, right, and you're caboodled. So
Oh, can that little old man's shop be called the Evil Eye?
Absolutely.
of
Okay.
course.
I is AYE.
The Evil Eye. I have to write down Fizzle Crank Bumble
Muffled.
Switch.
Of the evil eye. I figure we would just kind of head over to Wall.
Yeah,
With our
that's
shopping
pretty much
bags.
what Sal would do.
Oh, there you are.
Doc, Wall.
Kicks some chairs out from the table for you.
Thank you. How did everything go with Lucky?
She'll be safe. She's been deposited at the haunt house.
That's a word for it.
It went smoothly.
Well, if he's sitting here, I would assume so, because you seem very adamant about not leaving her side, so... If you're here, I suppose that means that you trust that she's secure.
You're a quick study.
Oh, yeah. Did you say you wanted to have the scroll out on the table?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're just kind of like studying
just
the
looking
blank
at it,
page
yeah.
and yeah.
Mhm.
What's that?
Is it unrolled or do you just like?
It's
roll it?
it's kind of like it's undone from its wrap, so it's kind of like curled on the ends,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
on the table.
You could see a little bit of it. You could pull it
Yeah,
open
yeah.
if you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The
So-
case is probably like hanging off your chair or something. Little shoulder strap.
Hmm.
Third will kind of peer and go, "Oh, what's that?"
A piece of a puzzle that I didn't know I was missing.
I love puzzles. Let me see.
And third, right away, you can tell this is you you've seen paper this nice before. It's the nice, like the highest level of paper. You know, the vellum. You know, what is that, like lambskin or something like? It's whatever that. I don't want it to be lambskin. It's like really nice paper.
Real nice paper.
It's from plants.
From trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine that we're eating. Whatever. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, this is the shit. Like this is what a mage would use to write a spell on, right? Like so, because you have to have the right material, and this like blank sheet of paper is worth a lot. Like not worth a whole ship, but it is extremely valuable.
That's very fancy indeed. I will try to pick up the scroll. If Wall
Yeah,
will let him.
the wall's not going to stop you.
That sounds nice. Then he wants to start reading it.
Well, it's blank.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like this is some really nice paper. Are you going to be writing an epic poem? Is there a secret message on it? I'll put it up to the light.
I need a luck roll.
That's a 5.
That's
So
a
not great.
miss, I believe.
Yes.
All right. As you're holding up the paper, trying to put it in the light and look at it differently, you elbow the waiter
Oh goodness, I am so sorry.
and drinks like you are doused, complete. Like you're genuinely soaked. And it went all over the paper.
Oh no.
But the paper sheds. It's like the paper is offended, right? And the other moisture is just like
It's water resistant.
thrown off of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
It is offended by that it would be marked by beer. But you are.
It's not high enough quality ink.
Yeah, you are genuinely. You don't just like have a little beer on your sleeve. Like somebody just got you with the Gatorade bucket. Yeah.
And he is just really about to scroll. He sets it down. He's apologizing profusely to this waiter he bumped into and trying to help them.
Yeah.
Get
Oh, okay.
something
You're
snack
helping
up.
the waiter.
Yes.
Oh,
he feels
okay.
terrible.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yes. I'm so sorry. So here, let me help you with that. It's fine. It's just a drink. It's my mistake. Terribly sorry.
Okay.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, the waiter does not dismiss your help. Like he was pretty annoyed, but also could see like you got worse of it. That he got some beer on his shoes. And, like you're literally soaked.
And it's a rowdy place.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens. Probably happens every day.
If you got a 1, you would have spilled it on the next table.
Oh no, that'd been so bad.
As it is, there's quite a commotion, and everyone's looking like, oh, jeez, this
Oh,
guy.
this idiot.
Can't hold his liquor.
Yeah. They just think you're wildly drunk, right? You haven't even started.
You're starting to look and smell as though you belong, third. Welcome.
I need a bath.
I believe you've just had one.
Sal chuckles a little.
Bath. Need
I-
laundry.
I believe those are services that can be
civilized.
provided here.
I hope so.
Sal, you could probably pull a lot of the moisture out of it, right? Can't you move water?
Yeah. If you want, if this stuff works that way, I guess it's a pretty openly narrative thing. So
Waterbend.
I mean, if you want to try it, a bad roll will like just get the water and leave all the hops and sugars and everything else.
actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the level 0 version of burn, which is you blow hot air.
Oh,
So I will
just bake it in.
So I will summon, so it'll dries. And so, yeah, the
Peels
clothes
off
still
the
need to
coat.
be
Sure.
cleaned, but at least you're not sitting there soaked.
Thank you, Sal.
Okay. Cool.
I really liked that coat. This is fine. I'm on an adventure.
But it's dried and cleaned now.
It is. Thank you, Sal. I do appreciate that.
The waiter says, look, I can't do this officially, but if you want to put your stuff in with the laundry and you don't mind pulling some pints, 2 hours, we'll wash your stuff.
I would love that. We can spare 2 hours, right? We don't expect Lucky to be going anywhere.
It should be some time before she can return, I suspect.
I really want to get clean. It's been 12 days on the ship.
You said that they would reach you as well?
Wall pulls out the little pager bauble and puts it on the table.
Sal, right away you can. You are no longer just a like enchanted object, right? But right away you can feel the like, oh, this is an enchanted object, right? Like that has like magic woven into it,
Mhm.
and it's substantial, not this little communicator earring kind of magic. There is like some kind of rich magic in that brooch,
Mm.
or whatever that's worth.
Maybe you should put that away. There's a lot of enchantments associated with it.
I see.
Wall, roll a die for me.
A 19.
When you put that on the table,
Mm.
I think to Wall's eye, it's metallic. It doesn't look like gold.
Mm.
It's kind of a bronzy, coppery color, and probably didn't think it was very valuable. I think Sal would recognize orichalcum when it's presented. It's the most enchantable metal of magical bullshit. And is it okay that Wall wouldn't have recognized orichalcum as a material? It's not. You don't usually make like weapons or armor out of it. It's really good for enchanting items.
Mhm. I know what it is if I'm told.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What you do notice is, you reach to move that back.
Mm.
You see like 2 tables over this eagle-eyed guy,
Mm.
like working very hard to not look like he's looking.
Mm-hmm.
You catch him looking without him catching you catching him.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Does that add up?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
1 plus
Um,
1 plus 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 1 plus 2 plus
Yeah.
1. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
felt such kindred spirits.
Wendy had not seen Clue, and
Oh.
we watched it
Oh,
together
no.
recently, and it holds up. Like,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
It's
I've
good.
watched it
It's
within the
still
last
good.
within the last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's going to be a table read of some RPG people doing Clue soon. Once I know the
Ooh.
date, I'll share.
That's
Oh my god.
awesome.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, classic.
So as Wall takes the trinket, he overextends his arm so it comes out of his sleeve
Uh-huh.
very pointedly and then pockets the item.
Okay. So now we're trying to do a surreptitious intimidation
Yes.
without letting him know that you know.
Yep.
That
I don't care if he knows.
Oh, okay. So are you open to
I'd rather he not know, but if he does, he knows where I'm sitting.
Okay, let's let the die decide. Die side. Got him.
Yep.
That is a 1, sir.
Oh no.
Yay! Not at you, but just like, hey, that means things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a barroom brawl.
A ballroom blitz.
Yeah, a barroom
Yeah.
blitz.
But
Blitz.
a barroom bris?
No.
Oof.
Those are not good.
No.
Oof.
No, I don't think that's allowed. Okay. This guy is watching your stuff. You make eye contact,
Mhm.
Showing off your tattoos,
Mhm.
and he notes and then makes eye contact with you
Mhm.
and kind of just rolls up the first cuff, and you could see the
Mhm.
start of a lot of ink under his sleeves as well. But then he winks, and somebody yanks your chair back.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna make an attack,
Okay.
and we're in a fight.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, at this point, can Third have wandered off to do the beer pulling thing?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So he's off doing that, and
Well,
I'm gonna flavor this fight.
we're gonna have a minor delay because you had to go in the back and get a waiter's uniform.
It's fine. I'm not.
and then, but we'll get you in there. Yeah, I just want to have Third come back to like a full-on.
Oh, I was gonna be.
Yeah. You
Singing
disappear
some
behind the
music
kitchen
together.
and come back.
Oh,
That is.
okay.
I know what
I got a
it's gonna
5.
The 5.
You
on
got a
the-
5?
Yeah.
Okay. I counterattack automatically.
Okay. Do you roll for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me see.
So here's what, just to give you a visual. This person yanked the these are like wooden chairs, right, with like 4 legs and straight back, right? He like grabbed the top of your chair and yanked it to like tip you back.
Sure.
And I think you were able to use that and land on your feet.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
And
Okay.
then let's check your
And
counter
then let me see how I did.
because his attack was so poor.
Tough choice.
Aha. Okay. So will I'll allow you to do your full damage and take 1 damage yourself as you're like trying to get yourself sorted out, and this guy still, he got a surprise. It was a surprise attack.
It's a cheap shot.
Yeah. Or we'll do half your damage.
I'm gonna deal some damage back, and I'll take 1 damage.
Okay. I think you do 2.
Yep.
Okay. So you do 2 and take 1.
Yep.
And I take 2. So you also, get your footing as you get sorted out, and you realize it wasn't even that guy that hurt you. It was his friend. And so you've got like 2 guys right next to you. It's really tight. And people are already like, oh shit, like trying to get out of the way of what's about to happen. But yeah, the guy who yanked your chair did a quick step back, wasn't able to like really get an attack, but then his buddy got a little like kidney shot as you turned to hit that guy, and it's a mess.
Yep. Sure. Food fight.
Okay. Let's yeah, I don't think there's an initiative order or anything, so let's have Sal go next.
Okay. I stand up from the table. And I'm going to say that I was across the table from Wall.
Sure, next to Doc, probably.
Yeah. The first thing I want to do is take a look around to see if there are others who are part of this gang, or if it's just these 2. Like, are there other people moving with intent towards our table?
Roll for me, just because there's a lot, that
Yeah, of
there's
course.
a lot
No,
going
I
on,
get
and
it.
you're trying to read a lot of human facial expressions really quickly.
16.
Oh, yeah.
So should be a success.
So these 2 guys who are coming up behind Wall are in league with the Winky guy and 2 more at that table.
Okay.
And they all have these matching earrings that you've seen crews have before. And probably how they were able to organize that guy over there, spotting Wall and getting his friends to come up from behind. It looks like there were 5 people in that group specifically.
Okay. So there are 2 that are engaging Wall, and then there's 3 over at that table.
Yeah, but they're all like getting to their feet, and
Okay.
one guy's the Winky guy is reaching into his coat to get something.
Okay. I'm going to use an ability called Vortex.
Oh.
Vortex normally would be on a large body of water, but what I want to do with your permission is to use it on all of the drinks at their table.
Read the description for me.
You create a howling vortex within a body of liquid that you can see. The vortex lasts until you leave the area. Any creatures touching the vortex are violently sucked in, submerged, and then spit out, each taking 2 damage. I don't think that effect would necessarily be the same, but I want to essentially have their drinks attack them.
Here's the deal I'll make you. I'm open to this. If you pull all of the drinks in the room, right? It's not going to blast everyone in the room,
Right.
But everyone's drink arcs up and over to deal with this table.
Oh, okay.
And then then we're going to roll a die.
I love it. That's great.
Does it normally roll a die?
No.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll a die on this one because you are trying to
Do something weird. I'm totally
put
with
the
it.
hurricane through the needle.
Yeah.
So, but you definitely get all of the liquid in the room up in
Great.
the air.
Love it. That is a 20, my friend.
I was like, it's gonna be a 20 or one. It's gonna be a 20 or a 1. And it's gonna be glorious.
Beautiful.
As the liquid suspended, can Wall just shout something very quickly? Have you lost your minds to spill blood here, of all places?
Yeah.
Have you forgotten that there are witnesses everywhere who will point you as the aggressor?
Okay.
The evening's
So-
young, boys.
Yeah. This vortex just crashes down on their table, essentially crushes it. Those three guys are all like spun around and smashed into each other. I'm gonna have them take the full 2 damage
Great.
each with a net 20. Like I was gonna have it do 1 because it's this like reduced effect, but double it seems appropriate. So sorry, it's only 2, but it is
No worries.
comprised of mini mugs of beer.
Yeah.
So
I made a beer NATO in the middle of this.
Oh,
I love it.
I love it.
I'm here for beer NATO.
Tornado, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Third, you're coming back out in your slightly ill-fitting waiter's uniform. They had some leftover stuff for you to wear and work while the laundry's being done. And you come out to see, and there are now also just scattered fistfights happening from people having bumped into someone else and shoving and
Where'd my drink go?
yeah, and while shouting and trying to be heard above the din. I think you hear Wall shout, right? And you hear this enormous splashing, crashing table noise, all that. What are you doing?
It's that moment in Community. Like,
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
he walks in the train, it's just like,
Everything's on fire.
Yeah, Wall's fighting 2 people.
and then he's going
Sal is orchestrating a beer NATO.
he's going to vehemently ignore this. Just go to the bar, gets a mug, starts coming. Oh, better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly. Then play a sanctimonious part with the pirate head and a pirate heart, and he's just singing the Pirate King song and filling up some beers. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. I am not.
There are plenty of
I'm
people
on
at
an
the
adventure.
bar who have I'm keeping my bar stool and I'm going to watch this, and
Yeah,
this is fun,
I will
right?
entertain those
yeah.
people. Yes.
Yeah. They're here for it. I am curious to see how well your song is received. Let's roll a die.
Am I Kevin Kline worthy vocalist? I am not.
Oh no.
It's a 1.
Oh,
I love rolling.
we've had so many 1s and 20s.
It's
Like this
amazing.
is
Look,
120, but
I love it.
okay.
It's hard to hear. There's like glass flying by his
Yeah.
head. It's just-
Your throat's a little sore, and I'm
He's
gonna say if you
forgotten
want
a
to
few
go
words.
interview it on 10th later,
Oh god.
there may be an extra challenge.
Oh no. Okay, fair.
So I'm
Well,
just
she's
gonna
not
write
normally
down
a singer.
thirds sore voice. Okay.
I know we wouldn't have been here if Pooja was here, but I'm really sorry that Pooja's missing this
Yeah.
because this is good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, we could have wound up in this situation.
Sure.
I
True.
didn't have it planned, but it's going great as far as I'm concerned. Okay. I'm going to have a bad guy's turn then. It's so weird for me to roll. I played so much PBTA that like thinking about having to roll dice is very strange.
Yeah.
So for the 2 guys on Wall,
Sure.
I'm just going to roll them as 1 unit,
Okay.
trying to work together. So they also might do extra damage. Okay, that's a 12.
Okay.
So they are going to do 2 damage.
Okay.
That's their combined effort.
All right.
Yeah. And the other, one of them, that guy who was reaching into his jacket for something, you've knocked them all over the place. They're injured, but he pulls a wand out of his jacket and is looking at you. Another 12. Weird.
This is the 12 gang.
Yeah.
This is the dodecahedron.
It's 12 monkeys.
Mm.
But yeah, just he aims this wand at you in a, let's say, glowing arrows spring from the wand and actually arc and around and avoid other targets to home in on you.
Okay.
For just 1.
Okay.
And the other 2 guys are actually, they're gonna have to spend their time getting to their feet and getting organized and whatever. There's also all this brawl going on. The Well, did I have you roll for your warning or your reminder to the crowd?
Not
okay,
yet.
now I want you to do that.
Okay.
Everything's happening so fast.
7, which is a tough choice.
Okay. If you want to leave yourself open to the next attack from these guys and really focus on trying to get people to come to their senses, we'll call it a success and see what happens with that. Or we'll just have to let it be a fail. Because you're trying to defend yourself in combat. I know that's a really tough choice, but...
Wall's going to just stand his ground and take the hit. But
Okay.
he's going to shout, "You fools are striking a consulate guard during his duty."
Okay. Well, that changes things.
Wall doesn't fully know what that means, but he'll say it.
But it sounds impressive.
Yeah.
He knows it to be true. Wall doesn't lie.
Oh, sure.
So we'll consider us back to the top of the round. Hang on for a second, Wall. Third, what are you doing as the fight continues? And you could hear Wall clearly, like, what are you people doing?
Do they still seem to be in decent condition, or do they look like they need?
Your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not hurt too bad.
They're
right?
fine.
And, by the way, notice I didn't forget. Doc is kept her seat. She's just sitting there watching
like
all
a
of this,
boss.
and like has her hand over her mug.
Mhm.
Her fish stew went flying, but she saved her mug.
Yep.
Like, thank you.
Oh, can I say it's that, like, as Sal was bringing up all the
she,
liquid,
like, kept
Doctor
it in?
slammed
Yes.
it down?
Nice.
Not today. I need this more than you do.
Not again.
Yeah. Not again. But yeah, she's mostly kept her seat, just getting jostled around a little bit, but is, just holding onto her beer and waiting to see what happens. So,
How's Danny doing?
right over at the gaming tables, this is a much reduced situation.
So,
right?
like, has it not swept into the gaming area yet?
The
Like they can
fight
see there's a
itself
disruption?
hasn't- Yeah, a lot of people are going like, maybe I'll just cash out of the round and like, but keep an eye on what's going on. Most of the games are interrupted, but the people over there aren't really fighting, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of money on the tables in form of chips, but
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Danny and Cocktail are not involved yet.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to put that little flavor on there, Kotil has kind of put himself as half a shield. He's put himself between Danny and the fights.
All right.
He also has his companion, but he's actually kind of put both of them behind him. Kotil is not a big man, right? But he's brave,
All right.
apparently. So,
Respect.
yeah. So, Sal, what are you doing?
The two that are still struggling, I'm ignoring the caster for a moment.
Okay.
The two that are still struggling with the liquid, I want to freeze them in it.
Oh, but they might get hurt.
Probably not. It's kind of slushy because it's all
Okay.
sorts of alcohols and seawater and stuff.
Okay. Is there a roll for that?
No. Although this says you freeze a nearby commoner minion object or object encasing in ice until you leave the scene. If you freeze a creature, it cannot move or act.
Okay,
The ice
so-
shatters if they take damage.
So here's what I want. I want you to get closer to them,
Okay.
right? Because they were a couple tables away, and there's a lot of pandemonium between you and them. So that's what I'm going to have you roll on.
Great. So I will rush through the crowd to get closer so I have better control.
You're huge. You can definitely maneuver this crowd. I just want to see how well it goes.
Well, not very well. That's a 4.
Oh no.
This is because Pooja's not here.
Yeah. This is the punishment.
Pikachu.
But actually, that's good. This sets up some narrative tension.
Yeah.
You get over there, you elbow, you get like a fork and a steak knife stuck in you. It's not really damaged, but it's like, oh, come on. It's a really good ring of the tree. Like, it looked really awesome. But then
I liked that vest.
yeah, you slip and you timber. Like,
Okay.
you go all the way down. Because Sal isn't particularly agile, right?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, okay.
I would
that's,
say
that's up to you.
Except on the deck of the Salamander.
Sure, I'll give you that.
But like other places, no, not especially agile.
Okay, so you timber all the way down. Fortunately, people stepping on you, this is not damage, right? I don't need it to be. That's not what I'm trying to describe.
Right.
But it is just, unless you wanted to break all these knees, which isn't Sal, right? Like, you would have to hurt everyone to accomplish your goal,
Okay.
which I don't think is in Sal's nature.
Not at the moment. This isn't. Sal builds and explodes and then builds again. So,
Okay.
but this is not. This is definitely in the irritation, not
Sure.
not the explosion part.
And so the only reason I'm not going to have your spell go off is because you can't really see them anymore.
Perfectly fair.
But you're not taking damage.
Okay.
However, what you do see from your vantage point, you're trying to get to your feet. You're not just like turtled on your back, right? But you see some spectral figures come up through the floor. And you do too. Well, you start to see some of this. And third, actually. You also realize most of the people don't see this, but one of the specters manifests more fully, and everyone can see. There's another dozen of them probably that people don't see, except you all. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the one that everyone can see has manifested floating above your table, right? And it essentially parrots what Wall was saying. How dare you? We see your hearts. We know what you do. And most of the people are so shocked. Like, probably most of them have seen a ghost at some point. It's not that weird.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Especially not living here.
oh, right, we're in, no, that we did a bad, you know, and Mom just caught us. Like, there's, like, one more accidental punch that somebody who was like, oh, shit, didn't realize what was happening. And most of the pandemonium just like, when I say most of, what's left is like people are trying to get up and there's like broken chairs but the fighting is basically stopped.
Meanwhile, Third is like belting out, live and die. Suddenly got quiet.
The nearest specter that only you could see says, finish it.
A pirate's king.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
And then most of them drift back down under the floorboards, and the one that's above your table, then like gestures, and it doesn't like mime playing a trumpet or something, but gestures and the like distant sound of like far away horns on the wind sounds in the room, and it gestures towards the wall and says, the consulate guard speaks true. Heed his words and get your collective shit together. Thank you for your service.
I just nod.
And he drifts down through the table. And most of the people here do not know what to do with that information, but they're not fighting. So they're looking at you like, that guy's weird. You know, so there's mostly confusion in the room. People are putting chairs back together. You're able to get back to your feet. And that group is still, like, the two who came up behind you go back over so the five of them are kind of at their table and they're putting things to rights, and the mage actually like mends a couple of the chairs magically, you know, like crack, 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 and you know, puts things back together.
What are they doing about the beer all over their table and chairs?
Well, they'd like tip the table over and just dump everything off, and yeah, that's, you know, they're just doing what they can. They're soaked, they're, you know, all of that, and they're not immediately doing anything about y'all. Also, for what it's worth, when you look back down, I don't think you had put the scroll back in its case.
No, it was just on the
But
table.
the case is closed and the scroll is gone.
Hmm.
And it put itself away.
Mm-hmm.
And the insignia that you have is exactly where it was on the table before. Like when
Okay.
you reach to
Okay.
take it back, where you left it, in spite of everything else going on, the table bumping, it's things flying around the room. This thing is stuck to the
Okay.
table. Except when you pick it up, it's not stuck.
Okay. Only I'm worthy of picking that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only the worthy may lift
Did you
this
say?
brooch.
Did you say the scroll is back inside the case?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I say, from a lore perspective, I really like that we've established, like, this is one of the reasons why it's totally safe to just leave your ship and no one's going to fuck with it, because there's a high probability that that wraiths are going to pop up. Like, if they're
Well,
sort of
certainly
like
in
an
this port,
unknown.
yeah.
Here,
Well,
yeah.
like here, I mean specifically that, like, it's a known feature of this place, and we just got an example of why.
Yep. The queen here is a happy necromancer. Doesn't bring zombie skeleton armies to raising people against their will and
It's
all
a
that
good
kind of
vibes
stuff.
queen.
Yeah. But everyone dies, and if you want to die here, she'll make a good space for you, and that's kind of the vibe I want to go for this for Port Fin.
Cool.
And also like Port Fin, or it's just like any kind of like fish fin kind of works. It's a really good like triple entendre. Okay.
Nice.
So, do you want to do anything about these guys at the other table? They are pointedly ignoring you.
Don't come at me again, and there won't be any problems.
Sal, you were halfway to their table when you get up.
Given that there was already a warning given and that everything has calmed down, I'm not going to be the one to restart hostilities.
Okay.
So I'll stand up, brush myself off, and sit back down at our table. But I will keep an eye on them to see if any of them get back up again.
Okay.
Can I do a quick retcon about the day?
Sure.
While we were out doing errands, Sal wanted to pick up some medicine to help break Corin's fever.
Oh, yeah. That's also part of what Doc's errands were.
Oh, okay.
So if you wanted to be part of that, that's fine. But
Okay, I just wanted to make sure something like that was happening.
yeah, that's kind of what I was like. Taryn is staying with him because Doc knows what to buy, and
Cool. If
so
that's taken care of, then don't worry
I was
about it.
trying to take that off your quest list. There's only so many side quests you're allowed to have on there, and it just fills up. There's so many dots on your map at that point.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I don't know where this arrow is pointing to.
Is it above the cave? Is it in the cave? Is it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's actually a really good place to game down for tonight. I didn't expect the bar brawl to end like that. That was fun. I wasn't really expecting a bar brawl until it happened. Like,
Right.
Role-playing game.
yeah, this was
Dice roll.
This is why we play the game.
basically none. Aside from the island of death, I had none of this prepared. So, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and also you, the audience. Thank you for being here. Let me grab my script because I'll fuck it up otherwise.
Do you want us to go first so that you can script out?
Oh no, I'm good, and then we'll end with the better material. Save the best for last. Now, which one of you goes last will know what I think of you. But genuinely, thank you, audience. I'm not thanking you first because you're my least favorite. It's because it's what's in the script. But thank you for being here. And double, triple thanks to our mods on the live stream. We are so grateful for you being here and helping us do this because it's basically impossible without mods.
Oh, we had an attack and we had a mod just shut it down.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. So
Drama.
thank you for being here and all, like, I don't have the words for it. Thank you. So our mods and also our Patreons. We have a Patreon, and if you go to happyjacks.org/Patreon, it'll jump you over to that page. And any amount of support is appreciated, even just retweeting our stuff. But if you have an extra monetary expenditure in your budget, we're a nonprofit group. None of us are getting paid to be here. This is all volunteer. The money goes into this nice equipment that we've gotten and the studio that Kimmy rebuilt herself. Put a lot of her own money in. There's no pressure to put money in if that's not for you right now. But if you can, it's appreciated at the Patreon. That's our session 3?
Two.
Third visit.
Third visit, second
Yes.
session.
Yeah. Official session 2. Let's go this way.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe, and I played Wall, who apparently is a consulate guard. I'm thrilled to find out what that means. Very cool. You can find me on Joe Loves Stories on Twitter. Again, I don't use that account. Feel free to message me or DM or, don't write nasty stuff. But if you want to use that as a space to practice or say hi to me or give me constructive feedback, it will all be ignored. So feel free. Otherwise, I'll catch you back here next week. And happy trails. Happy sailing.
I'm Courtney. I suppose I'm only the second favorite. Y'all know who the favorite is, huh?
I was
Totally.
honestly expecting it to jump
Yeah.
over to me. And
No, but you're great. You're the favorite. Anyway, hi, I'm Courtney. I played third of Fandris, the third of 6, soon to be 7. Bard who just needs to accept that he's on an adventure, and this is just his life now. Is
Is
fine.
forever?
This is great. No, I'm having a blast with this. You can find me on Twitter at the Anime Goddess, where I occasionally post stuff about role-playing games or playing the hurdy-gurdy. Come say hi, and once I know when Clue script reading is happening, I will certainly share all that. Heck yeah. And I think that's it. See you next week.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. You can find me online at Sungrowler on Twitter. That's the name of the platform there. You can also find me there at Instagram is the other platform, but don't follow me there because I don't post anything. Although this week I actually did cross-post something about my cat. So if you want to see my adorable black cat who is giving a tiny little micro blep, which he almost never does, check it out because it was actually pretty good on there. And I was playing Salamander, who had a good time, cast an awesome spell. So. And is learning about the magic of cosmetics.
Awesome. And obviously, I will go last because I am my favorite.
I was such a fool.
Wish I could say that in earnest. One thing I want to mention too, our missing cast member tonight, Pooja. You can follow her on Twitter at LADaisyGirl, LADESI Girl. And she's on 12-Sided Stories and does stuff with Happy Jacks. She does stuff on my channel, which I'll mention now. At It's Probably Okay on Twitch and Twitter to follow everything that I'm up to. I hope you will. No big news at the moment, but love to have you around. I do some video game streaming on Wednesdays and Fridays, and then we're here on Saturdays to play this game on Happy Jacks. So that is everything we have. Also, if you want to check out happyjacks.org/shows, it has the backlog of everything we've ever done on the channel. There's YouTube, there's podcast version, there's whatever's most convenient for you. There's a ton of cool stuff on there. So I hope you will enjoy that. I think that's it for us. So thank you again. We will see you next time. Take care.
Bye.